Boys, the Ashes are just around the corner. We have an Aussie squad. We're about T-minus 11 days away from the first ball in Perth. Rugby League internationals have wrapped up. We've got New Zealand and Samoa on in the background, but the big one was obviously over in England. The Aussies go 3-0. Looked very handy overnight, although a bunch of blokes miss out on getting a cap. The NFL is about halfway through the season. We'll look back at some of our fantasy takes from the pre-season, what hit, what missed, and have a look at Week 10's action, which kicks off in about 6 hours' time. The NBA is a couple of weeks in, a few teams off to a flyer, a few stuck on just one win. Arsenal looking very good in both the EPL and the Champions League, plus a big card next week for Aussie fight fans over in UFC 322 in New York, because Jack Della Maddalena will take on Islam Makhachev. We've got F1 Brazil tomorrow morning. Plenty to talk about in the wide world of sport, as always. This is On The Esky, Aussie Sports Podcast. We like our Aussie sport. We like our US sport. Like to have a bit of a laugh and a dribble. We do have timestamps on the YouTube. You can go to the sports that you like. Check us out on socials, Facebook, Instagram, X, etc., etc. And if you are finding us for the first time on YouTube, just hit that subscribe button. We'd like to shout out beer to start off the show. Pretty big event in the wide world of sports, Shauno. The World Series. Who are you shouting?
Well, I'm shouting the Major League Baseball, essentially. Well, the Dodgers, because they're the winners. So the Dodgers did go into Game 7, take the seventh game to go back-to-back as winners of the World Series. And some pretty big numbers there for Major League Baseball as well. Game 7 averaged a combined 51 million viewers across the USA, Canada, and Japan. Happened to be the most watched game in 34 years, since Game 7 in 91. And they reckon about 45% of the Canadian population watched the game.
Crazy.
Based on the amount of viewership coming out of Canada. And, of course, they threw some shade at the NBA's way, having about 10 mil more on their Game 7 in the US versus what OKC did for their Game 7 in the finals. I think it was 27 to 16 mil for USA viewership.
Slightly different markets.
Yeah, of course. Having California in there probably helps a lot.
Toronto and the whole of Canada getting behind it.
Yeah. So, but that's purely on US numbers. So it's 27 mil across the US.
That's in US only?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, 27 mil across the US and 16 mil across the US for the NBA. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, big viewership there for Major League Baseball. The Japanese powerhouse that it is at the Dodgers continues to grow. And I've seen some reports of some other big fellas coming across, some big hitters from Japan, potentially going to join the Major League as well. And, yeah, Japan baseball on the up and up.
Pretty crazy World Series, wasn't it? I was having a look in the past sort of quarter century. There's actually been a fair few that have gone to Game 7, but I don't think any in recent memory have had the sort of intrigue that this one's had, with the 18 innings game and having to back up the next day. That was the first in a 3-game series in LA. And then Toronto were pretty close, had multiple chances to win the World Series. Game 6 just went close, but not quite. Couldn't quite get it in Game 6, and then they come out in Game 7 and another close game that went right down to the wire.
Almost won it within inches. So very close.
Pretty crazy, yeah. Really good series, definitely for baseball casuals. Pretty rare for me to be watching baseball, I'll tell you that much. But this one really dragged me in. And I think a lot of people that weren't Dodgers fans would probably wanted the Blue Jays to win, but obviously you spend a fair bit of money, and Ohtani and co getting it done for the Dodgers.
Yeah, who have you got, Peps?
Mate, I'm going to keep it equine this time of the year. Definitely, late October, early November. Like to watch ponies a little bit. And there is a fairly large race called the Melbourne Cup. You might have heard of it. Jamie Mellum becomes just the second female jockey in history to ride a Melbourne Cup winner. She rode Half Yours, which was actually the only Aussie-bred horse in the field. Plenty Aussie trained, but the only one born and bred out of Australia, out of the field of 24, which is interesting. Sort of shows where the Melbourne Cup is on the international stage these days. Half Yours and Jamie Mellum, formerly Jamie Carr, They won the Caulfield Cup just a couple of weeks ago, so became only the 13th horse in history to do the elusive Caulfield Melbourne Cup double, and probably having a well-deserved spell now after one of horse racing's toughest races, going 3,200 metres. And yeah, you'd love to see it. Aussie horse, Aussie jockey, Aussie trainers getting it done against the big names in international racing. Monk's interesting shout to be here. A lot of people think this guy's a bit of a palooka, but
we love him on the Esky.
He's made a few appearances on the Esky, but he hasn't.
He has.
He kind of went missing for about a year, 18 months.
Probation, maybe.
Maybe.
Probably.
Who are we talking about?
Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Jarvis. The serial prankster, serial pest, serial streaker, pitch invader. Made headlines, I suppose, for us during last week. Was it last week? Yep.
Last week.
When he
Game 2,
game 2 of the Rugby League Ashes series between England and Australia, where he made it onto the pitch, not for the English side, but for the Australian side. Rocked up right next to Munster. Munster, who thought it was like some sort of promotional thing, like some corporate sponsor. Make-A-Wish kid. And yeah, he was out there for our national anthem.
This is up there with his best. There's one thing just to be on the field, but to actually be in the lineup for the Australian national anthem and not get kicked out. And
not get picked up on.
Munster's just there, just going, what is going on? Apparently, Cam was pretty good at his interview post-match, like saying he just got stitched up, and Jarvis actually asked to go between him and Paddy Carrick. He said, no, me and Pat was standing next to each other, but he was there for the whole song. So go figure. I don't know how that happens at an international stage. I thought it was AI.
I don't know.
When you sent it through,
that's some good photoshopping.
That's right. You got to, do your own research and make sure that you haven't been pulled up on something that actually hasn't happened. But yeah, this is all definitely real. And what's he cop? 5-year ban.
Yeah, that's it.
That seems like unders.
So this is a separate report, and going back to check your facts, I'm not sure where this has come from, but allegedly it's only 2 days ago. So after that incident with the Australian team, he
big security breach
made it onto another pitch for
in Oregon.
National game between Ireland and England. And subsequent to that, he's been arrested yet again. And reports are that he's banned from all football games, national and international. And when there's an international fixture, he has to surrender his passport.
Right.
So
can't travel.
Can't travel. So
you're going to have to put like an ankle bracelet on him or something. When anything big sporting's going on.
That's it.
Serial pest. He's definitely made a name for himself, and this gets him back in the public eye. And maybe we're not doing the best by talking about it on the internet, but anyways.
Okay, you got to say that Australian jersey with the Jarvo 69 on the back is just all class.
All right, well, enjoy your beer, courtesy of the Esky. Daniel Jarvis. We'll see if he gets himself into any more mischief upcoming. We got a mop of the week. It's the opposite, although this was sort of...
This could be mop behaviour as well.
Sort of mop behaviour anyways. Yes. Sean, a bit of UFC gambling issues going on.
Well, I think
what happened here?
I think it follows up our mop from last pod, which was the NBA gambling. And the UFC as well, getting in on the whole gambling issue where I'm going to need some help with some names here, Peppy.
Bulgarian versus Devale, maybe?
So Bulgarian was the one he's been thrown, through the fight, he lost this fight. They allegedly had $16 million bet on this fight and was bet on it late. So they obviously knew he was. So he's, of course, been sacked by the UFC. Prior to that, there had been rumors floating around on the social media that the FBI was looking up to 100 fights in the UFC for potentially being, thrown, rigged, whatever, with the betting, like errors. Betting coming through on those. But that hasn't really been confirmed. There's not really a big story about that, and the FBI kind of hasn't come out and talked about that. But since this has happened, so like that rumor started, then this confirmed that this definitely did happen. There was a thrown fight with a lot of late betting on it that basically confirmed it happened. And then from there, there's a bunch of UFC fighters that fought on previous undercards say they've been approached. Say they've been approached to potentially take money to throw fights or to try to get a certain scenario like submission in the first or second, whatever, so that they can gamble on it and make big money. So Dana came out from that and is like, one, why didn't you tell us of this? Because it's news to him. Two, now that you've told it, probably should have told some law enforcement. But now the fact that you have said these things, expect to hear from the FBI. Because it'd be interesting to see, because I think the FBI tipped off the UFC on this first one, and it kind of goes with those rumors that maybe they're looking at a bunch of other things. That maybe that they are being involved in having a look at potentially some of these results and some of the betting that comes from it. So it's a pretty interesting time, especially in US sports, especially with the rise of gambling in the US. And now it looks like the FBI has got it in its crosshairs, following on from what they've been investigating in the NBA. It looks like they're looking at UFC. Wouldn't surprise me if they're looking at the other major leagues happening as well, and trying to stamp some of this stuff out and try to kill it off.
Combat sports, notoriously boxing back in the day, taking a dive, mafia.
If you look at the NBA with the mafia connections and that, it hasn't gone away. So organised crime, and the UFC would be the premier kind of comparison to the boxing.
I suppose it's easier to track now. All the money being a lot of money being digital.
Exactly.
It's pretty easy to see.
They saw there was massive amounts of money being dumped on this fight just before it started, within minutes, knowing that there's a bad smell in this. There's something wrong. So the fight, of course, we can't stop the fight, but took place. Ended up being a first round submission, which was what a lot of the money was bet on. So the UFC's acted quickly and could be a growing story. Something we might follow over the next 12 months of FBI involvement in investigations into gambling and fixing of matches / fights.
If he gets found guilty, lifetime ban, do you reckon?
Oh, the UFC's he's gone. He won't be.
Just based on allegation?
Yep. He's been sacked. He won't be back in the UFC. I don't think he'll ever be back. Whether he fights for another promotion, that'll be the question. But I'd say unlikely, considering this is all but confirmed.
Yeah, interesting. Obviously we spoke about, Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, all the stuff going on in the NBA a couple of weeks ago. That'll be on the, back page, I suppose, over the coming months, and we'll see what ends up happening.
Plenty of those memes flying around about this person took a dive, the highlights are I don't think you get knocked out like that. And then there's plenty of ones like Francis knocking out Overeem, and we're like, let's see, here's where he takes that dive where his head gets completely launched in the stratosphere.
It's pretty hard to fake being knocked out cold, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grappling's different, right?
Yeah, well, I think that's where a lot of these things are just because in this one, it was very clear he shot for a takedown, had an advantage position to complete the takedown and gave up on it, lost position and got submitted. So it's just that's something a lot easier to follow on than trying to get yourself knocked out.
Sure.
Giving up the back so you get choked out, getting submitted in a round is a lot easier to do. Yeah.
And I suppose only, the really clued in high level jiu-jitsu brains may pick up on anything like that.
Yeah,
whereas,
exactly.
People that don't know too much about jiu-jitsu.
Plus, if it's only
one of them now, it looks fine to me.
Which is why I think they've been targeting a lot of these undercard guys because probably a little less eyes on it as well, and be easier to sneak some of that stuff through.
But probably also more likely to accept, dodgy money as opposed to the
exactly
getting paid pretty well. Yeah, well, it's reared its ugly head in another sport. We'll see what happens there, and hopefully it doesn't affect the big card, which we'll talk about at the end of the show next week in UFC 322. All right, let's kick off with our sport specific stuff. Let's talk some cricket. Boys, I have put it at the top of the notes here, but India have beaten Australia in the T20s 2-1, with 2 being rained out. Just speak for myself, but I think some similar sentiments maybe from you boys too. I don't know if I've cared less about a white ball series to start off a summer than I have with the Ashes just around the corner, and maybe the rain played into it. Maybe the fact that
it's T20.
And there wasn't heaps of big names.
Well, here's a question for you: have you cared more about the Shield?
I've kept a pretty close eye on the Shield. In fact, the last week, because they haven't had it, they play their 4th round tomorrow. They haven't had a whole...
Which I think is probably the definition of the difference between a hardcore and a casual, is some of the casuals might be interested in this, for those hardcores like us leading into the Ashes, we're keen to see how's the Shield going. Most of those guys are playing in the Shield as preparation. So,
But maybe
I think I've shown more interest in that definitely than I have this.
we are just old man shakes fist cloud because they had some pretty good crowds at some of these games too. Now, India's obviously always going to pull good crowds, especially here in Australia. But yeah, I just couldn't get too excited about.
Yeah,
this
well, I think
series.
we said the same thing for the one-day series. I probably
Correct.
paid a bit more attention to that, potentially with some of the old heads playing their last sort of series out here. But yeah, for the T20, no, it's too deep into Shield territory as we prepare for the Ashes.
We will get to the Ashes squad in just a second. Australia did win game 2 after Canberra was rained out. Hazelwood 3 for 13, pretty good in that one. And then Tim David actually went ham. That was kind of fun. I did see a bit of that in Hobart, 74 off 38. Wasn't enough, unfortunately. India win that one to go 1 apiece. And then what ended up being the series winning game was at the Gold Coast, where India won by 48 runs. A few runs there from Shubman Gill, Akshar Patel, Washington Sundar, good with the ball. But yeah, I don't know. It was a combination of the timing, the rain, the Shield being super interesting. You know, leading into this squad announcement from the other day, that was potentially catching our eyeballs a bit more.
Yeah, agree.
Pretty good week for India, really. Their women just won the ODI World Cup. That's the first time they've ever won that series, or that tournament, I should say, at home. The big guns, Australia and England, both bowing out in the semis, and it was India who beat South Africa by 52 runs in the final at home to claim their first ODI World Cup. So flying the Indians at the moment. England, interestingly, just got smashed in New Zealand, 3-0 in their ODIs. A little bit different to the white ball team that we had, where I suppose we saw a few of our bowlers, not too many of our
Sticks,
of our frontline sticks playing. Their top 4 all likely to feature, in 2 weeks' time. They made 84 runs across 12 innings, which is the lowest ever in a 3-game ODI series. So average 7. That was Jamie Smith, Ben Duckett, Joe Root, Jacob Bethel. Bethel might not be in their best 11, but you'd expect to see Root, Duckett, and Smith. Luckily for them, and scoring some runs. A bloke called Harry Brook batting 5 did okay, but not enough for them to win any of those games.
No. But as a run-in, not a huge amount of great form there, but yeah, they'll be happy that.
Also, is it apples and oranges? New Zealand,
Exactly.
different, white ball,
Red
different.
and white, yeah.
But yeah, you definitely feel a bit better rather than they've come over and they've made 450 in 3.
Yeah, they've killed New Zealand.
Yeah.
They look red hot. Yeah, you'd rather them look a bit weak coming in.
So we do have a Ashes squad for the Aussies. The Perth Test kicks off Friday, November 21. So 2 Fridays away. It's about a week and a half away. In alphabetical order: Sean Abbott, Scott Boland, Alex Carey, Brendan Doggett, Cam Green, Josh Hazlewood, Travis Head, Josh Inglis, Usman Khawaja, Marnus Labuschagne, Nathan Lyon, Steve Smith, Mitch Stark. The big inclusion, I suppose, from a will he actually play perspective is Jake Weatherald and Bo Webster. You've got them in the notes there. Dad's Army, only one bloke under 30.
Yeah, and I think George Bailey,
Yeah,
the selector, got a bit of criticism about how are you going to plan for the future, etc. What's the future of cricket? And I'm like, I guess that's next year's problem. This is the Ashes.
Let's plan for this summer first, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, I guess Cam Green being the youngest one, the only one under 30 and being the youngest at 26. Yeah. But having said that, there's a bunch of guys right on that 30 cusp that'll be there for potentially another 4 or 5 years. So
That's right.
I'm not super worried.
The only late 30s guys who we might be watching for the last time play red ball cricket in Australia at least. Usman's 38, Nathan Lyon's 38.
Spinner, he can go around a couple more years.
Yeah, he might play till he's 40. Smudger's 36, Scotty Boland's 36, Mitch Stark is 35.
Yeah.
Hazelwood 34.
Quick's getting a bit old, I think.
Yeah,
it's a
a
big thing.
fair few of them on the lower end of 30.
Cummins not listed there, but is also 30.
3, I think. I think he might be 93 vintage, which would make him 32. Mark's going to look that one up.
He's looking good though, by the way. So
Well, he reckons he's good for Brisbane.
Yeah.
So day nighter, dealing with a stressy in his back, it's obviously not something that you want to rush back from.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously.
But he's been doing a lot of network.
Yeah, I
and it
think-
looks like he's been bowling a bunch. So it looks like he's
By all
in the
reports,
deep
just going to miss
rehab.
one. Good luck trying to keep your captain and tear away and beautiful
out
blue
of an
eyes,
Ashes.
green eyes out of Brisbane. He is 32 years of age.
Yep.
Had dealt with stresses early in his career, which he lost essentially 2 years of Test cricket too.
Yep.
But the 30-year-old spine probably a little bit different than the developing 19-year-old spines. And I'm sure he'd have some pretty good physical therapy rehab guys around him.
As a comparison, like Cam Green, I think had the same thing, didn't he? And it took him a fair bit to get back. Did he have surgery?
Yeah, I think Greeny had surgery.
Yeah.
So no surgery for Come Dog Millionaire, but hopefully to see him in the second test. You would think bowling straight in.
Yeah, well, definitely. I think bowling straight in. So if we want to talk why I think our 11s are, I think there's basically two scenarios that we talked about this off pod and kind of came down to it. Is there's the, does Weatherall go in and then they go back to a very similar looking David Warner type team before David Warner retired? So you got Uzi opens with Weatherall, then you got Marnus, Smith, Head, Green, Gary, Stark, Lyon, Hazelwood, and like you said, Boland just comes straight in for Cummins. The other option is if Weatherall misses out and Marnus is your opener, then depending where you play Green, is Green going to be 3 like they have been recently? And then Webster comes back into the squad as number 6. So
he hasn't done anything wrong, Bo Webster, but I do feel that if you have a specialist opener in your 15, you're probably going to debut him.
Because I feel like it looks like they're going back to the team before they did all the
reshuffling,
playing around. Let's see what happens. They're going back to this is a team that's won for the past 5-6 years. That's the maker. Well, we'll try whether it is a David Warner replacement, let's say. Instead of trying to do all the mixing and moving around and everyone shuffling up the spots, we go back to what we know works versus the mixing it up.
And Marnus in red hot form, making all these runs for Queensland, batting 3.
For 3, yeah. So it kind of goes back to what they know works and is the stock standard sort of Australian team. So I think that's very, very likely that, whether we'll get an opening spot.
You'd say Doggett and Abbott are only in there, as net bowler injury cover type guys. And then, can you sort of squeeze Inglis in and who would miss out? That would be in place of Weatherall or Webster, I would imagine, if Josh Inglis got the shout. But I the more I look at it, the more I think that Weatherall's going to get his debut. And, what an awesome way to do it. Potentially facing the first ball of an Ashes series. I thought he might have blown his chance because his last Tassie game, he missed out. He's pretty ordinary and he doesn't have a ton this summer. But they've also rewarded last summer where he was making runs for fun. And when I say he hasn't made a ton this summer, I think he's still averaging like 40.
Yep.
So
46, I think
he's
was.
got past 50 a few times, just hasn't turned up. And, obviously the selectors, respecting his work in the Shield over the last few years and, being a specialist opener, I think hasn't done him any harm.
Yeah. So the one caveat I put on the Green selection at 6 is I'm not sure, have they played that Shield game? Because the plan was him to bowl 15 to 20 overs because the thinking is if he's going to be a 6, he's got to be an all-rounder. And if he can't bowl, then maybe Webster gets picked ahead of him as the all-rounder. But I'm not sure if he has played that game, whether that's this weekend or next week.
That's tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think they start, but I don't know if he is in that squad. See if you can get WA's Shield game up for this week, Monks, and see if you can get a squad name for that. I can't imagine he would. I would think he's just in the with Australia now.
I believe that was the plan. Was all reports was to get him some bowling action.
It's Tuesday versus Queensland. You're probably going to be hard pressed finding a playing. Yeah, watch this space.
Just do a quick Google on Cam Green.
You might just be able to get Cam Green news potentially.
Yeah, and see what. But that was a report that I saw a couple of days ago. Was they were planning to get him some bowling action so that they could see, see that he was fit enough to actually do the bowling low.
Well, it's worth talking about, isn't it?
Because if he's going to be 6, you want him to be a bit of an all-rounder. And if he can't do that, then Webster is ready-made replacement.
What do we got here?
Just latest news is just focusing on the Australian team being built around Green.
He's unproven at international level at 3. But he's
done a bit there, but it hasn't. He's batted a bit there, but hasn't done anything
his best
majorly
stuff,
impressive.
His best stuff's happened at 6
Yeah.
for Australia.
For Australia, yes.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because if he can't bowl, I just don't see a world that Cam Green is missing out. Like, to be honest, like even if he's not bowling or bowling much. What do you got there, Mugs? This is from end of October.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's watch his
We'll
space,
just
I
watch
think.
it. Yeah.
Do you want to see whether he'll get a gig?
We need a new opener. Like
Yeah.
Regardless, well, this is probably Aussie's last summer.
Mm-hmm.
You would think.
Yep.
The ageless wonder. So yeah, we're gonna need at least one. So it'd be good to get a start. But in an Ashes, but it goes back to the conversation. Is like, do you do that in Ashes, or do you go back in the 11 for guys that have played big matches for us in the past? And that's where you shuffle the guys up and you put Cam Green up, and then you whack Webster in the middle there.
I suppose it's worth talking about then, because if we do blood him,
because he's a debutant.
Yeah, Renshaw potentially was there or thereabouts, missed out.
Yep.
Sammy Constas obviously gets dropped after, his heroics on Boxing Day last year, but, plenty of opportunity in the Caribbean this year and hasn't really fired at Shield level just yet. I'll tell you what, after listening to his 25 minutes on the grade cricketer the other day, he's a fucking funny bloke. So
Weatherall.
Yeah. Based off lockability and, good bloke.
Someone you want in the
I reckon he's, No one was safe. Jeez, he stuck the boot into Monty Panesar and a few of his ex-teammates over in the UK. But all in good fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Going back to it, I think if he's there and he's in the 15, I think there's a pretty good chance that he gets picked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just really finding that quote there. It was actually George Bailey that said the quote that he was going to go the bowling.
So returned from back surgery earlier this year. He's only bowled 4 overs in professional cricket.
Against Queensland in Perth next Monday. Yeah. However, the 20 is expected to return to bowling for Western Australia upcoming Shield match against Queensland in Perth next Monday.
It's a pretty quick turnaround, hey?
Yeah. So he's playing, declared that Green was aiming to bowl 15 to 20 overs in the Sheffield Shield this week to prove his fitness. That's from George Bailey. So
right. So that's going to be an interesting game to keep an eye on.
And that could really define the entire makeup of the Australian squad.
Mm-hmm.
One, I think he's got to get through fit.
What happens if he doesn't, or what happens if something happens during?
Well, I think fitness is the main thing. If he bowls badly, I don't think matters too much.
That's what I was going to say. What if he goes out and bowls 15 overs, none for 100?
Yeah, exactly.
Look like it. I don't know. There's the ability to actually get through your workload, and there's ability to
be good with the ball
dangerous.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll have to see how Cam Green goes. If he does bowl for WA in a couple of days' time.
Very big. So go back to our previous point, Shield. Interesting for this reason. A lot of the Aussie blokes are playing in the Shield games as prep. Like I said, they're getting prepped, getting ready.
Aussie had like a broken record, but if it was up to me, there wouldn't have been any white ball series at all. It just would have been anyone that's within cooee of the Australian Test team playing the Shield for their prep.
Can you check for me? Is Australia A playing anywhere? Because
I think there is.
Because going back to our previous about Dad's Army. That was Bailey's response to that as well. It's like we're heavily invested in Australia A, and for that reason, so that these guys are getting good quality games and like lead ups, so that they can come out.
So Australia A plays the England Lions 5 December to 8 December. So that will be in between. No, that'll be concurrently with the second test.
Yep.
So it's actually they're playing at Allen Border Field. So just down the road from the Gabba, they'll have the Rezzies playing.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't happen very often. Simultaneously. Often it'll be like a prelude, into the series, warm up game, prove yourself kind of thing for guys pushing for selection. So that is interesting. I'd be really interested to see who's in that Australia A side.
Correct.
Going back to
how many under 30s will there be?
That's right. Over the next couple of years, we are going to see a complete changing of the guard.
Yeah. So I think that'd be a good test to see where the depth of the Australian squad is.
Very good. 10 days away from cricket.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Next time we're on the Esky, we'll be reviewing probably or midway through the first test. Yeah. As a New South Wales fan, you love to see it for Australia, but it's a little bit concerning, particularly when Cleary wasn't super duper involved. Interesting at an international level here as well. They had a try which was called offside on the ground, a kick from Munster to the Fox, and the camera angle didn't have Fox on screen, so they're like, "Well, it's offside. We don't know. We can't check it," which is interesting at an international level. I think the Leeds home ground there, it's only like 20,000. It's like a pretty small ground, and I don't know if maybe the height was an issue on that one, but
the angle they're using.
Correct. Not the best look. Anyways, didn't cost us a game by any means. Just cost the Fox an international try potentially. Would have been interesting to see at the ground. Maybe it was 5 metres offside. You didn't even need to worry about it. But on telly, it was a little bit interesting. I suppose leading into this one as well, Kevy decided to pretty much go full strength.
Yep.
And there was a few blokes that missed out. So you feel probably most for Bradman Best, Ethan Strange, Jacob Preston, Blake Brayley, who were all on the tour, but uncapped Kangaroos. So they don't earn their Australian cap. I'm sure guys like Ethan Strange probably not going to have too long to wait, being young. Probably all of them actually will play for Australia at some stage.
Get some game time at some point.
Interesting. Real foot on the throat kind of stuff from Kevy. Just rolling out the ones. We want to win 3-0. Fuck off.
Well, you also, I put it in there, they're all New South Welshmen.
Yeah, and,
and the Australian squad has a heavy Queensland flavour in it as well. So it might be fuck them New South Welshmen as well there from Kevy too. So,
well, definitely pick the best starting 13 and best playing 17 because absolutely tore him to shreds in the second half. And Reece Welsh is the best player in the world right now. I don't think there's any ifs or buts about that.
Yeah,
no doubt. Pre and post toilet water.
It's good for recovery, bro. It was a bit of a sliding doors moment, actually. I don't know if you saw the try that he threw tried to throw a big cutout ball, which the England centre tried to intercept. It hit him, and the ball was travelling so fast, it just hit him off the chest. Bounced back to Reece, and then he just ran in and scored. That could have been 80 metres the other way. And then the last try he scored off the set piece, just left foot step. Thanks for coming, untouched. Just a class above, which is pretty crazy against one of the best international teams in the world.
Yeah. I did see some reports about getting stuck into Nathan Cleary a little bit about how he didn't fire. But having said that, he's in this squad, he was probably going to always be a passenger. Like you look at the guys that did good. Walsh had a double, Munster were very good, and Harry Grant was man of the match. That's kind of Queensland spine. So he doesn't need to do a lot.
It is a knock on him, isn't it? You'd think a guy that
doesn't step up in big games outside a few grand finals.
Except for 4 in a row grand finals. I don't know. It's and a part of it is the New South Wales thing, right? They just haven't been able to win with a team that on paper has been better than Queensland really in the 2020s. But it's a bit of that sort of rhetoric flowing over into the green and gold now as well.
If you're winning 30-8,
it's a different story then, isn't it? Like you can't get criticised if your team, if you're the 7, if you're wearing 7 and your team's winning. Yeah,
you just his role there is just to manage and let these boys go ham, and then I think they did that. So
and you have to think all those other boys do play together on the Queensland side. And it's like club footy as well. So they're just going to have the combinations that they play. Like it's just muscle memory for them.
Yeah, correct. Especially like
whether Cleary there or not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Walsh has been in and around them guys for a fair bit, so I'm not unsurprised at all.
Definitely not.
My favourite thing from the week, though, was how butthurt Kevin Walters still is about getting sacked by Brisbane. Because he had his interview and was like, if I was there, we still would have won a comp this year. So,
yes. Really? Double down. Because Gordy was saying it for him. After the GF.
He's like, I expected them to win.
Put some respect on Kevy's name. The house that Kevy built.
Yeah. I don't think him and Darren are friends anymore. Let's put it that way.
Interesting. Well, that's a very long season of rugby league done for a lot of those boys. We did see the Pac champs today. New Zealand winning that pretty comfortably against
Just before you move on, Kevin Walters was only contracted for this too. So there's we don't have an Australian coach for the World Cup coming up.
So whether he doesn't have a gig for 2026
so far, but whether he wants to pick up a coaching role or be focusing on a coaching role, it's hard to tell. I think that's probably his preference would be to be a club man somewhere. But if he doesn't get that, has he done enough winning an Ashes series to get a gig, get signed up for a year or two more?
What team would he potentially go to?
Don't know.
What team Queensland?
How close is he with Mao? Go be an assistant maybe out in the West?
West, yep.
Yeah.
But you might think the Dolphins to see where they go, whether they want someone like Walters to come in over, what was it, Wolf there?
Christian Wolf.
Yeah.
Even being an assistant, I don't know. I think what we do know is there's not going back to Brisbane Broncos anytime soon.
No, like, I was going to say, it's not going to be Brisbane. It probably, if it was going to be any, it would be another Queensland club and one of the other three potentially. But they've all got contracted coaches for the foreseeable future. And like you look at the Titans who've already signed Josh Hanney, and they're already talking about trying to get, is it Wayne? Who they're trying to replace him with already.
It's just rumours, surely.
Yeah, it's just rumours, yes.
They just signed him.
Yes, but they've already been talking about getting someone like that.
Well, it's worth talking about the Titans, isn't it? Because
you can
Matty Johns and his mate Gordon Tallis has just bought into there. So if you did want to, not
Now,
be the HC.
I'm not sure how, they didn't report how much they got, but they're now minor owners, I'm assuming, of the Titans.
There you go. Then you got your answer. Kevin to the Titans as an assistant?
That also could potentially be possible. I'm interested to see how Matty Johns and Tallis, I'm calling it the Tom Brady treatment because Brady, he bought the
sharing
the Las Vegas Raiders. And basically can't say anything bad about the league or can't say anything bad about
media. Yeah, there's conflict of interest there.
Exactly. So with Gordon being on NRL 360 a fair bit and on the Matty Johns show, and then Matty Johns as well, like what things can't say about the NRL? Like being an owner is a bit different to being just a media personality.
I don't know, the old Broncos heads on every Channel 9 coverage game for the last
but they don't own the club. That is maybe the difference.
Oh,
you can't tell me that they
just one phone call away from the club.
It's a bit different than owners turn around and say the NRL shit, the reference crap, etc. So
you wouldn't hear that out of Matty, surely.
Yeah, well, you never know.
But yeah, that news has happened. The Pappenhausen stuff is ongoing. So do you
want to finish pack or before we jump over the pack champs?
Yeah, I don't mind.
You ongoing yet?
Yeah, well, it's the New Zealand win today. Samoa. I think we've just got the highlights on. I haven't sat down and actually watched that.
Yep.
But Kiwis too strong.
Yeah, Samoa got out front 14-6, and then the Kiwis ran them down, scored 30.
Kieran Foran's last game as a Kiwi. Yeah.
He's gone back to Manly too, by the way, as an assistant.
Oh, interesting.
And they tried to, last minute tried to get DCE to come back. But DCE officially signed with the Roosters during the week.
I couldn't believe that actually hadn't happened officially. But pen to paper during the week.
And only for
500,
which was 250 less than Manly offered him, where he said that wasn't enough.
So clearly...
Sombreros!
Alleged. Holy dooly. Settle down, Terry Rose here.
Yes.
I think he just thinks he's more likely to win a comp.
Yeah, he's trying to be a Cooper Croc.
Yeah.
So
just
go
go
exact same thing.
Win one more. That on paper looked fucking pretty good.
Yep. It'll be him and Walker, supposedly.
So Kiwis win that. Out of the stuff happening in the Southern Hemisphere, I suppose the big talking point all week was some horrific news out of the Tonga Samoa game last week, where Eli Katoa had a pretty massive friendly fire contact in the warm up with Lehigh Hopewadi, sort of coming out of nowhere and copping him sort of shoulder to face in a highball contest. Apparently, there was no HIA pre-game, so he was allowed to play, and then suffered.
Well, I think there's conflicting reports on that he was also cleared by someone, but it wasn't a HIA. Like he was just cleared that he was good.
Well, it's a warm up.
Yeah,
there's no official HIA, right?
Yeah.
So presumably someone has attended to him because it was a big contact
and cleared him. Yeah, but then Tonga came out and said that if we'd seen the vision, he wouldn't have played.
Correct.
So obviously the medical staff maybe missed it, and maybe someone saw it. Looked over and said, "Yeah, sweet," and they let it go. Like
it is different warm up, isn't it? There is good footage of it. It's massive contact, but I suppose it's not like during a game where everything stops and you see 3 replays of it. Yeah, so you've got to be, pretty astutely watching your player in that situation, and then presumably he didn't show any obvious signs. Anyway,
having said that, he also then got hit in the first half and passed the HIA. So there is that too,
and it was his third contact for the day, his second during the game.
In the second half.
In that second half, and then
Third
had some seizure activity on the sidelines.
Yeah, like he
Medicab out of there.
Yeah, he sits on the sidelines and he's sitting there, and then all of a sudden he's just like, it looks like he says, "I'm no good." And then, this is where he has a seizure, and they cut him off, and he has to have brain surgery.
Yeah, brain bleed. So would have been rushed off to hospital. Would have tried to get that intracranial pressure down. It was a horrific kind of, car accident kind of stuff for him. And obviously, we're just thinking of him and his family, and hoping that he just makes a full recovery. And then I suppose the next question is, does he get back to playing? But it's too early to tell at this stage. The only thing that's really remotely like it in the NRL is Tamari Martin, who we're just looking at the articles from 2019 that they just said small brain bleed is what they said in there, and I think quite different in its nature. Like, it wasn't an acute injury, it could have potentially incidentally happened. And he missed the entire 2021 season and then come back in 2022.
Yeah, so it's like almost 3 years since.
Yeah, it was I think it was like 18 months of non-contact.
Yeah.
And then it was pretty close to 2 years, I think, out of the NRL.
Yeah.
But look, it's too early. It's a week at the moment, so he's
Exactly.
trying to think about him making a full recovery.
Has he been released from hospital yet? I don't think he had. Last I checked.
Not sure.
The family had given some updates. Like, he's doing all right. He's okay. He's stable, etc. But
you'd be filthy if you're the Melbourne Storm as well.
Yep.
Like,
Well, I think it's you're filthy for the NRL. There's some going to be some serious questions.
Yeah.
Probably some new procedures put in. Well, I think if it ends up being career ending, that's where it becomes a serious question because that's where Katoa, I think, can turn around and go, well, duty of care, like, it's not on me to protect myself from that's the whole point of the HIAs, and the whole point of this system is you're meant to take it out of my hands. And he's essentially, if it's career ender, then you got to think about what's all the potential loss of his career. He's very young. What's his 10-year kind of earnings going to look like? How does that hit? And what does that become a bigger legal lawsuit for him in the NRL? And it could really be a defining moment in a lot of this stuff for the NRL as well going forward. Hopefully it doesn't get to that and he's healthy and like 12 months down the track he's all good and he's back playing.
Yeah,
but
even sooner potentially.
It could be quick or it could be that's it.
Too much to speculate on at the moment.
Come in under the NRL, or is this the?
It's still To answer that question, I think it still comes in under the NRL, but obviously the Tonga medical team is probably
or is it their ARL or something? Either way, the Australian body is the biggest and kind of is the lead on all of this and pushes these procedures. So I'd say, they'd probably push hard.
Watch this space. Wishing him and his family all the best. I think that's all we can agree on at the moment.
Definitely.
R360?
Yeah, so had sort of started to talk about Ryan Pappenhausen. It was just rumours, I think, on our last podcast, but is stepped away from the Melbourne Storm.
Been given his immediate release.
Yep. So walks out on the contract there effectively.
Yep. His statement was interesting. There's like, I'm trying to find what I'm interested in, like find the enjoyment in footy again. So whether that means he's wants a break, take 12 months off, or I'm going to go play a different type of football and go to rugby, which had been long rumoured that he was going to go to R360. And then today, like the big reports that Payne Haas there's a big contract on the table for him to potentially to sign
$3 million, I think.
$3 million a season, that is.
Big money.
Big money. And then we missed it last pod, but the NRL put out their 10-year bans for anyone that goes and joins this comp. I think the media kind of misreported on this to try and make it a bigger thing than it is, but because it's pretty much if you break contracts. So if you're off contract, it's fair game because there's the whole restriction of trade laws. So they've obviously had some good legal people in there go over all the contracts and what they can and can't say. Because if they could just ban people for 10 years, I think some of these rugby union converts probably wouldn't have ever come back. For example, you go, hey, if you're going to fuck off to rugby, we're going to put a line through you. Why have they not done it? They're doing it now instead of for that. But I think NRL's interested in coming down on contract breaking. I think they're kind of the point where a lot of the fans are. We're sick of players having a contract and breaking it and disappearing somewhere else. But my understanding is Payne Haas is off contract. So in theory, he's not breaking a contract. And same with Pappenhausen. He doesn't have a contract. You wouldn't be able to apply said 10-year ban to them.
Not breaking any rules.
Exactly, not breaking any rules. I think the NRL's 10-year ban, they've obviously, like I said, had some legal people go over it, but a 10-year restriction on trade would be a very interesting to see if that legally could also be enforced. So would be a very interesting lawsuit. But we'll have to see how this plays.
article literally from today. R360 verge of announcing first signings. Code Sports confident that Haas will be the headline act. So that is huge. That will be a huge loss. Been Brisbane's best player over the last 5-6 years, the best middle forward, in the 2020s. That's a huge coup if they're able to get him.
But if he's getting a 3-year deal for $9 million,
you can't, you can't blame the player, can you?
Yeah, I'm on front row. I'm taking that every fucking day of the week.
That's crazy money. Broncos are keen to offer Haas a multi-year extension, but said they can't compete with the money on offer from R360.
What's the 1.2 to 1.5? Like it's double,
which is huge. That's huge for a middle forward to get, but it's obviously not
NRL money,
$3 million.
It's not Saudi Union.
So he's off contract at the end of 2026, but that means he is free to negotiate as of last week.
Yes. So following on from this whole break contract thing, there was a statement from the NRL as well about potential fines and penalties specifically aimed at player agents if they're trying to move players that are contracted already. So like they're under contract, they're not in this period, they're not coming up. It's like if you're trying to get a guy to break contract and move somewhere else, there's going to be penalties and fines imposed upon yourself. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, especially considering this happened. And then like the next day, Ponga was seen with the Warriors head of recruitment and he doesn't come off contract for another 18 months, I think it is. So, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I would like to see the NRL
do something.
Tighten up there because you don't want – it's already hard enough when you find out, in – April or something that one of your stars is leaving next year.
If we use Payne Haas as an example, like he's signs for one of the other NRL clubs this month, he's going to play for Brisbane, and then after halfway through the season he has a big sook and they release him, and then he's playing for that other club. Like that's the scenario the NRL hates. Because he's then broken the contract and he wants to get out early and leave and move around. I think the NRL's
You can play by the rules too, and it still is bad for the fans. Like Dylan Brown this year at Para, everyone knows that he's leaving. Maybe the desire goes, and he ends up playing reserve grade, and you're like, he's way too good to be playing. We've seen that for New Zealand over the last couple of weeks. It's just kind of the way that it's set up at the moment that you're free to talk so early.
I just go look at that NFL playbook and copy that. It obviously works.
That is maybe a good little segue into one of our favourite sports, which is going into week 10, so week 9 in the books, so we are officially halfway through. Let's hit that button. Let's talk some NFL football.
Oh, he broke his ankles!
Now, did you want to start off with
we might as well
straight back to
do the review and then we'll
spoke
talk
about 2.5 months ago. So we do like our fantasy football on this show. We gave a few fantasy, bits of unsolicited advice at the start of the season, or just before the start of the season, as people were heading into their NFL fantasy drafts in the first couple of weeks. And Sean's got the graphics up there. We're going to talk about some of our takes from 2.5 months ago. What hit, what missed, and what is still yet to be found out. Right, take us away, man.
I guess we might as well cover the bad and good teams very quickly.
A few big whiffs there, but mostly good.
Well, I think we hit the Dolphins nail on the head.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Saints bad.
Yeah.
These two.
That's misses there.
Yeah, I'm not going to say hard misses, but I'm in wait and see mode.
Well, they're both above 500.
Which I think is kind of my challenge is I think they're probably misses.
How do they play out the rest of the season?
Browns bad, Raiders bad, Giants bad.
These guys have all been bad.
Cowboys defense.
Are they above 500?
They are 500, I believe.
Find out for me. Colts was a huge miss. That's probably our biggest miss out of this lot.
Everyone missed the Colts.
And Panthers and Patriots.
That's big misses there.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll talk about Drake May later, but I think Panthers above 500 is probably the big thing. And
Panthers are 5-4, and
yep, exactly.
They're killing it.
And then actually these need to be greens. So Jets have been bad, Titans have been bad. I think we hit those.
Cowboys, you can keep the tick there. They're 3-5-1.
Yeah.
My apologies. I thought they might have been just a tick.
Not even close to 500.
I thought that was just a tick.
So we've got 14.
Could you say the Cowboys are doing better than we expected, though?
Their offense is doing better than
great. But it's hard to win games when you're giving up 35.
Very true.
So
that's always been the Cowboys, though.
Yeah. So our fringe teams, these are guys that we thought would be fighting for playoff positions.
There'll
what-
be lots of ticks here because we're on the fence on these teams anyway,
Yeah.
aren't we?
yeah. What about this one? The Cards. Do you think they're a fringe team?
I think the NFC West. I think they're bad because I think
they're bad.
Yeah,
I think we've missed on them.
because the NFC West is too strong.
Yeah, I think these guys.
Yeah,
are
Steelers
probably-
are fringe.
These guys have been good. Falcons.
No.
These guys have been good.
If
And
you're
it's
giving
almost-
the Panthers a tick, you'd probably give the Falcons a cross.
Well, it's almost a miss on the Seahawks and the 49ers too because they look better than especially
True.
after
True.
last week.
Yeah,
Seattle
they
I'm
could
talking
be playoff teams. But these are kind of fringe teams that we thought would push into the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I'll give them that. 49ers, they're
looking good.
good,
Yeah.
just really banged up.
Really banged up, yeah.
Happy with Bucks?
Yep.
Always happy with
Texans.
Bucks.
Yeah, I think the AFC South, maybe they'll still be alive, but I reckon the Texans are across.
Vikings?
Yeah, I'm happy to give ticks both on.
You're the Packers, man. Where do you think the Packers are at?
I would have said they're a great team up until they lost the Panthers last week, so let's give them a tick.
Tick for now. And if I finish with the Falcons,
I think the Falcons are bad.
Falcons are bad, so
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
not going to make it in
Yeah.
the playoffs. So these three go down, and those four we mentioned before should come up.
Yep.
Up playoff teams. Are
Is there any good team that we missed on? I suppose the Ravens got some work to do.
The Ravens got some pretty good
Yeah.
with these.
The Commanders as well. They're going to be a whiff. The Bengals, I think, going to be a whiff. Although you lose your
That's-
franchise quarterback
Yeah.
early on. to the-
Injuries, you can't help
They're going to
that.
be a whiff.
I suppose we caveated that.
We're going to yeah.
Yeah.
With any franchise quarterback,
Well,
going down,
well.
does change things.
Well, I've just put three crosses on. What do they all have in common?
Lost quarterback. And
Lost quarterback.
Yeah, lost quarterback.
So, Chiefs got a bit of work to do. They're in a tough
Yeah.
division, but they're above 500 and probably will be a decent playoff team. So that I think we're pretty close.
Ravens could go on a run too. as well.
Exactly. Like they're across now at our mid-season review point. But yeah, like you said, they could definitely go on a run here in the not too distant future. That's a very quick look. Well, let's talk about the actual important stuff. Let's talk about wide receivers we said to avoid. And hold on, let me get some.
You get some noughts and crosses coming, or ticks and crosses.
Sticks and crosses.
We get some of these sound
Get
effects
the
going.
sounds going.
Yeah, you can
How do we
get,
do this? How do I time this right?
Well, I'll just say a name, and then you just hit the
yeah.
The sound.
Well, if we start with Jerry Jeudy, I think we hit that one nail on the head. Yeah, the Browns have been just bad.
yeah,
I will say,
I reckon we missed on Flowers. Hasn't been horrendous, but
but he hasn't scored a touchdown this year.
yeah,
So I'm going to give him a wash. I'll give him a line. It's
right,
like,
so
let's look at
nothing.
the end of the season.
yeah,
Olave,
yeah. We missed.
I think we missed on Olave.
Yeah.
He's been good.
He's been good on a
He's
bad
on a bad
team.
team, but he's been good. Hasn't had a concussion. And I think,
As you look, you hate to because this is a horrendous injury, but I suppose you give a ticket for Tyreek because he wasn't going gangbusters before he got hurt.
No.
You got to take that into
no. And if we
consideration,
go
don't
back to my gut feeling when we did this, and I was just like, I can't really put into words why I don't think he's going to be great this year. But I didn't imagine him blowing out his fucking knee in four
you?
different directions.
Horrific circumstances.
Yeah. So
We'll put the tick there, but no sound effect.
No sound effect.
No cash.
I think he did.
No.
I think we missed hard on this one on the left here. Adams, he's been excellent.
That's a big fart sound there amongst.
Are we giving ourselves a fight? Or are we giving
Yes, we're giving ourselves a
That's
fart.
a fart for us. Yeah,
Fart for us.
In fact, do two on. Dribble fart. He's scored 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I think Matthew Stafford potentially being MVP it definitely helps. And Nakua has kind of missed a couple of games, but Adams has just been Adams. He's been good. He fit really well. So big miss by
You've
us.
seen some of those red zone routes that he's running. Yeah. He looks like he's still 24 with
Exactly.
that
exactly.
release. Ooh.
What do you think about DJ Moore?
I think that's fair. He
has-
hasn't been the number one receiver for them.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
definitely been that
It
guy.
could be a bit of a wash, but yeah, they just have too many weapons there. I think
Yeah.
is the big issue.
Too
at
many
the
mouths to
moment.
feed.
Yeah,
Give it the cash.
guys, the draft. I think we hit 3 out of the 4 here. I'm gonna say London's been pretty
Yeah,
good
that's
late,
cash.
started slow.
No, that's cash, man. He caught 3 touchdowns last week.
Exactly. Rice been good since he's been back. He's number 1 receiver there. He's going to get
Yep.
that. And with Hill getting hurt, I think Waddle's been great. He's been averaging all the targets and that.
What about your boy Brian Thomas Jr.? He has been
hurt.
underwhelming, but hurt out this weekend. Ankle.
Yeah, missing the ankle this week. I think he started the season playing through a wrist injury, then he had the shoulder and a hip, and now he has an ankle.
Banged up.
He's banged up.
Lots of drops, but...
Well, if you've got a bad wrist, it's probably a bit hard to catch football. So, because the 1 week he was right and he scored big was I think the 1 week he was kind of healthy. He'd gotten over all his injuries, but yeah, now he's kind of hit back in the mist. So I think these guys were all really, really good. Missed on the Brian Thomas. Ooh, double miss here maybe.
I feel like Dunze's like
probably
pretty okay.
He's been good, in the red zone, so probably he goes okay there. Myers, I think that Raiders team's just been...
Yeah, it's a big miss. It'll be interesting to see how he goes in Jacksonville.
Considering Thomas is out, Hunter also out.
Yeah.
Washington's probably his only competition. He probably should do right. The rookies, I think...
Ibuka's massive tick before he got it.
Yeah, it's probably like this. Higgins, just they're playing too many old men over there at Houston. And Harris is getting more involved as they're kind of getting down a little bit. Allen's kind of been dropping off. Harris getting more involved. But at this point, he's a no.
So... No cash, no.
All right, let's do some running backs.
All right, so we talked about
the offensive line.
We talked about the offensive line. I think this is pretty much bang on for this season as well. So do I have all my ticks?
Now, I was listening back. When we spoke about Genty, it was not that we didn't think he was going to be a good player, but just when you were considering his ADP in Snake Draft was first round, I think we were right there because he's running back 9 at the moment.
Yeah. I think all the things we said, offensive line bad, team bad.
Yeah.
He's going to be a challenge. We think he's an excellent player.
The talent is there.
The talent is definitely there. But having said that, he's just on such a bad team that it's going to be a challenge for that to be successful. So hit that. Having said that, who do you think the leader rusher for rookies is?
Genty.
By a yard over this mate, over Jenkins, who, again, I don't think largely has been great. He's been okay, missed a bit of time.
But the difference between those two is the value that if you pick up Quinshon Judkins in the 7th round, you're cheering, and we'd have to give ourselves a fart. But look, he's not breaking any rookie records.
No. Pollard, been pretty sticky.
They've been bad.
And Henderson's done nothing up to this point. He might get some more now.
Have to delete the cross. Then, we're giving ourselves 4 cashes there. And again, with the caveat that you had to take Genty, essentially the first round. And far through this season, I don't think you've got that value.
He's not a first rounder.
We'll see how the back end of the season is and if you can put some big points on. But at this point, that's where we're at.
This next one's interesting because I think 2 of these guys, provided they don't get hurt, you're always going to give yourself, some ticks for these guys.
Which I think was our point is like these guys might have been injured last season, but they're in the back half of your first round. Their value, you still should pick them up. I think we hit on Dobbins as well. He's been pretty good as the number 1 there for Denver. And I think Jordan Mason was pretty good kind of pick with Jones kind of getting injured. He just probably hasn't given you as many points as you want. So
it's almost.
I think he's a wash at this stage. We'll leave him.
You go and push on Mason. With Jones getting hurt, I really thought he was going to become a bit of a start, and he hasn't really lived up to that.
Also, they lost the quarterback at roughly the same time. And
true.
Yeah. Well, let's see how their back half of the year goes with JJ McCarthy back there.
Yeah.
I need to grab some crosses.
I mean, you ready for some fart sounds? Because there's a few coming up.
Yeah. I'd say losing McCarthy, you should have seen a bit of, and Jones as well. You would have thought you'd see some production, but
but they're a passing team though. They've got the wide receiver talent.
If you're the dude and you're still not getting reasonable numbers, I don't know. It's closer to.
He was getting some return. Yeah, I think I'm agreed to you. It's cross, but
that's right.
I'll leave it as a wash.
There's about to be a few crosses.
He's on my fantasy team, and you see how well I'm going. So
both
him and Jones,
Well, I will say I think this was probably a tick until he got hurt.
Yep.
He was doing really well, so it might be a bit of a wash. You stash him for next year. I think RJ Harvey, I'm going to wash it for now because for the exact reason what I said is Dobbins will start off early. And we'll see how the season goes, whether his carries and stuff goes down and Harvey takes off.
But you watch Denver each week. They're using them completely different, right? The Dobbins is the 15 carries a game, doesn't catch the ball out of the backfield, never in there in third down. And then this guy's who's
scoring the touchdowns? He's had 4 in the last 2 weeks. So
Tick him up.
I think we're close to Tick. Maybe Wash, give it a couple more weeks and see if he takes on more of that role. But it's very.
I don't have a Wash sound effect.
Yeah, true.
It's just nothing.
But his role is very much the same as what we've talked about, which is so his role is very similar to what Alvin Kamara's role was year one, which not a lot of rush yards, a lot of involvement in the passing game. So we'll see where here is long term, but that's where it is.
Big time cross.
Big time cross. Had like 10 snaps, I think, so far this
That
season.
kickoff killed him because he didn't know the rule.
He's been in the doghouse
Mike
ever
Tomlin
since.
blowing up and hasn't really recovered from the kickoff fiasco.
Yeah.
Obviously, as well, different stories there with Hampton. You would have had to use a fair bit of draft capital for him, whereas Harvey and Johnson, you could have taken some late round flyers on there.
So Harvey's probably getting your return on the flyers, but
Johnson's a big whiff.
Tootin and Blue. Blue is the backup at the moment, so he's probably more a handcuff. But so far this year, he's given you nothing.
Yeah.
And Tootin's probably the exact same story.
Yeah, that's double farts there, I think.
Exact same story. So.
Again, you weren't using high picks on these. This was a throw a dart at them in the 13th or 14th round, but zero return on investment.
Yeah. This bloke could be league winner if anything happens to Williams.
Well,
so
not many people thought he was going to be as good as he's been.
No.
Just stepped straight in.
Yeah, straight into that role. Well, and I guess the Cowboys' offense has been better with Dak back there, and they've been overall very, very good.
All right, let's talk some tight ends.
I think the back two is this one's probably Ingram's probably our worst one out of the lot. He's been doo-doo in that Denver defense offense. Andrews, I'm going to give him
he's hot and cold.
I'm giving him a wash. He scores touchdowns, bulk touchdown steal, but he's probably Lamar dependent.
Yep.
Without him, they kind of go away. These two.
Big time ticks and
before the ACL, and this
we'll talk about Tucker Kraft in just a second. Absolutely devastated as a Packers fan to see him do his ACL last week, and then big time tick. How good's Tyler Warren been? Straight away,
very, very good.
Big part
especially as a rookie
of the Colts' success.
Quarterbacks.
I think there's a few ticks up coming through here. In fact,
I think Well, I might.
Well,
start with
Nix and May are big ticks, aren't they?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. Probably
May's in the MVP conversation.
Exactly. Yeah, big tick there. I think Nix is.
Yep.
You probably want to see more offensive output out of Denver, but he's return of fantasy
game
points.
to get through on Thursday night.
I'm going to leave Jalen as a wash, considering he was my deep sleeper. If anything happens to Sam Darnold, which still might happen, but
Darnold's not getting dropped anytime soon. This is injury only.
Yeah. And Brock Purdy is probably a miss purely for the fact he's been injured.
He's been hurt. Yeah.
So,
all right.
So pretty happy, and I hate the fact that I was so right on the fact that it was either going to be Nix or Daniels would have a sophomore slump. And, Daniels, unfortunately, was of the rookie quarterbacks from last year, is the one that had the big sophomore regression, unfortunately.
And that dude third on the right on screen is making a case to be the best quarterback out of that draft. But obviously...
He's got the most wins and touchdowns, bro.
Well, that's true. I think outside of... McCarthy's still got to prove himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, I think you love the growth from Williams. He's got all the weapons.
Looking good.
Still looks pretty solid.
Yep.
Want to turn that into wins eventually.
Yep.
Daniels, I think, still talented, but slump, injured a lot.
Yep.
Who was after that? Penix? Is he next? No, Drake was next.
Drake,
taking a big leap. Good. I think having McDaniels there as his OC's helped, and a good head coach and Vrabel, that team's kind of turned around.
And then Penix was taken 8th overall, 4th quarterback.
Yeah, Penix has looked. Oh, he's looked better than Kirk Cousins. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But I think that Falcons team still needs proving, and he probably needs to prove. Mm-hmm. And then
Nix is a big tick. Yeah,
JJ McCarthy's looked better since being back, but again, he hasn't played really enough to cement his spot. And then Nix has done the best out of the lot. That draft, I think, those quarterbacks will go down as all time.
You reckon? You calling it?
Well, if they could keep this trajectory and these guys play more playoffs, then I can definitely see. But give it 3 years and they all could be traded over or else and have won nothing. Like
it's a cruel game.
It is the not for long league. So
is that it for positions?
Yeah, that's it. That's our recap of what we thought. So what are we shooting?
I reckon
we're above 50%.
Yeah,
we're above 500.
I don't think we were quite 75. I reckon
I think our RBs, we killed it on the fucking RBs.
2/3 maybe.
Got them all in a wash here.
Also, not red hot takes on Sam Steele or JT, but the value.
Easier.
Value. I got JT in the start of the second round, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, very, very interesting there for us.
Let's go into our Week 10 preview, which kicks off actually not too far away, but we've got to go back to what was a bit of a stinker on Thursday Night Football, if you like offense at least. You were happy to get the win there, Shauno. I was out at work, would see a client, the score would be the same, see a client, then the score would be the same, sort of 40-minute sort of intervals here we're talking, but Broncos did win this 10-7. There was 22 penalties total in this game. Bo Nix threw 2 picks. He's been good looking after football traditionally this year. But the Broncos defense is just legit, aren't they?
Yeah, they've most sacks, most pressures. They had, 6 sacks, 11 QB hits. So 22 QB pressures. I think there was 26 or 28 pass attempts by Gino. So that's almost all of them he's getting pressured on. For him, he only turned it over once, and he was banged up pretty significantly at the end of this one. So I think Denver... Well, we've talked about their offense needing to kick gears in the early quarters and not just rely on when they push the ball down the field in the fourth quarter is when they have their success. So, there's a lot of that goes into it. There's a bit of happy feet there from Bo Nix. The play calling early really doesn't set the confidence. They literally started this game 3 run plays and they went 3 and out. Then the next drive they did 3 pass plays and went 3 and out. So it's just like, where's the play calling at? They love the screen game. Like Troy Franklin has more targets than Smith and Jigba does, but he has 500 yards.
Really?
So because he's the screen dude, so that's how many screens we're calling as a comparison.
8 yard per carry, per catch kind of guy.
Yeah, or nothing. Like it's turning into nothing. So that's the issue. And then we're the most penalised team in the NFL, so we have lots of 3rd and longs, which makes it very difficult. So heavy reliance on the defense to be where it is. And Funga and Greenlaw have really taken it to another level, and that the team's just dominant all over. So get Patrick Surtain back probably post-bye as well.
Yeah, so he had a pec strain. We were watching that pretty intently. I think we were reviewing the footage and going, I hope this isn't a rupture, but he didn't seem to be in enough pain potentially. So 4 to 6 weeks on him. He'll be back for their playoff run.
Yeah. And considering they have Kansas next, which is basically, I probably consider it like a playoff game, really. Because
if the Chiefs drop to 500, they could be in trouble.
Yep. Yeah, so it's big for them, and it's really big for number 1 seed, say for Denver, and then also leading the West. So it's pretty close to a playoff game. But they played Thursday night. They have this game, then they're bye, so they'll play 1 game in 23 days.
They should
I think
be pretty well rested.
Should be rested and should have Surtain back post-bye.
Let's preview the Berlin game, which kicks off in about 4 hours. The Falcons are 3-5, take on the Colts 7-2. Big news on the trade deadline. Tuesday, Wednesday, our time.
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner leaves New York. The Colts acquire him. He had signed a 4-year, $120 million extension in July, which is big, big money for anyone, but let alone a corner. And the Jets got 2 first-round picks for him.
And Mitchell.
Yeah, so
got
a wide receiver. The Colts are making a play this year, aren't they?
Well, that was a point. Try to improve their defense and see if they can go deep. Look pretty dreadful against the Steelers, though. Yeah,
that was a bit of a reality check for them. Although you don't normally turn the ball over that much, so
Daniel Jones.
They were still within QE and turned it over 6 times.
Yeah,
so
regressed the New York Giants. I think they'll be all right, but we'll see.
Should win this.
I'd say so.
Let's go into the early window. There's really only one red-hot matchup, which we'll save for last. We'll try to be relatively quick on some of the stinkier matchups. The Jags are 5-3, take on the Texans 3-5. It'll be Davis Mills starting for the Texans. Monks, can you give us some odds just quickly on Falcons Colts, because I forgot to ask you there.
Yep, Colts are favourites, $1.32. Falcons are $3.40.
And then this game's coin flip?
Yeah, coin flip. Jags are favourites, $1.88. Texans are out at $1.96.
You reckon Jacoby Myers will do a bit better with potentially some better quarterback play and,
happiness maybe? Because he didn't seem real happy in Oakland. So, well, no, it's not Oakland. It's Las Vegas. So.
That was funny. So, look, he's got he's going to be their wide receiver 1 tomorrow.
Yep.
Brian Thomas is out of there, and Travis Hunter dealing with an injury
him in
himself.
Washington. So.
Yeah. So, I think the the Jaguars are pretty good value there. I would have thought with
It'd be-
Davis Mills starting. The Texans' defense is very good.
Tex defense very good. So and David Mills isn't too bad. He had a one good year before they replaced him with Stroud. So
Yeah, he's not rookie CJ Stroud, that's for sure.
No.
What about Cam Little hit the 68-yarder? We're just seeing the field goal attempts go longer and longer and longer. It's when they miss from less than 50 these days, you're like, you bum.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, still, like, even 55, like it's kind
Yeah.
of pushed out. He's just like, guys are hitting those pretty regularly. So
Yeah.
it's the
It's weird. I think the game has changed a lot in the last 5
It is.
years, but compared to say 10 years ago, all the fourth down analytics, teams going for it a lot more on fourth down, trying to kick longer field goals. It's probably as exciting as it's ever been. I would think.
Yep.
There has been, I've noticed like a few more missed field goals or blocked field goals and extra points as well this season. So there's definitely something to the kicking mechanics where, they're just
They're
aiming
going
for
long, but
aiming
maybe
for long
the
ones and-
accuracies maybe suffered a little bit.
all the
Yeah.
time is allowing guys to get through a little bit.
Someone lost last week on a missed extra point. Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have gone to overtime, but they missed the extra point, lost by a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all well and good to hit them from 60 plus, I suppose, but you need to be banking the ones that you should be kicking. I like Jags there. Giants take on the Bears. The Giants are 2-7. The Bears are 5-3. Chicago's looking at 6-3 here. Really, they'll be short-ish, I'd imagine here, Monks. $1.42, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, $1.42, $2.90.
Giants lost all their mojo.
Yeah,
after Scatterboo got injured.
Yeah, and such a people-pleasing crowd favourite, weapon of a running back. Breaks his leg in pretty horrendous circumstances, and that deflated them a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah. Dart's been good. I expect high scoring in this.
Yeah, well, coming off 42-47 game, one of the craziest games I've ever seen against the Bengals last week. Flacco's numbers in that, the Bengals have the bye, may as well talk about it now. Like, he had insane numbers for a losing quarterback.
Yeah.
I think it was the most yards for a quarterback over 40 ever, which is pretty crazy that given Brady played for 5 years over 40. And, Flacco had it, I think it was 480 odd.
Yeah, they had a good game plan, just target chase.
Yeah. Higgins was
Higgins went off
making crazy catches as well. And I think Yoshivas had the one that the go ahead. And then he's just like, there's too much time on the clock here. And then they throw to Colson Loveland, who's barely been used this year. And he housed it from 50 plus yards.
Cole Clement had a concussion in this. So that's why he was playing more.
Yep.
And I think he's probably out, and Loveland's going to get probably more looks in this too.
Loveland was a man last week. I think he caught 2. The Giants, I think their season's done. They have this game. This is must win just to stay alive, but realistically done. And then they go Packers at Lions at Patriots into their bye.
Yeah. Put a line there.
Definitely could be looking at 2-11.
Yep. Probably a new head coach, and they're not too distant.
Yeah, you reckon Daboll's one of the hottest coaching seats in the NFL at the moment?
Him and McDaniels. McDaniel?
Yep.
Yeah, they'd be the two, I'd say, on the hot seat.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
A team that's going
The Titans already sacked their coach, so
True. Ravens going the other way, so they're 3-5, but we'll look to make a bit of a run with Lamar Jackson healthy. They take on the Vikings 4-4. Lamar returned last week against the Dolphins. This is such a Lamar numbers, 18 of 23, so throwing it over 80%, 204 yards, 4 touchdowns, no intercepts, and didn't really have to use his legs.
yeah.
And then the interesting stat, how much better Derrick Henry is when Lamar plays. So makes sense, you got 2 guys that you got to worry about that are, just about the most dangerous players with ball in hand in the backfield. So Derrick Henry with Lamar, 6 yards per carry. Without Lamar, 3.7 yards per carry. A bit of a non-factor when it's Cooper Rush behind centre.
Yep. Yeah. Well, they switched
Snoop
it to
Huntley.
Huntley, because
Snoop Huntley, not too bad.
kind of fits the way their scheme is
I
now
suppose,
with Lamar. Yeah. Surprised they didn't get him back earlier, honestly. But I guess they want to see
It's
Cooper
not
Rush
with
there.
guy that's as fast twitch as Lamar. It's probably not something that you want to risk, I suppose. And hammy recurrence and things.
No, I meant as in they didn't. Why didn't they get Huntley back sooner to replace Rush? Was my point.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
But I guess they want to see what Rush had. So. Anyway, they got a long way back, but they could potentially win out from here and still finish with a good record.
Yeah, I think they're still relatively short when it's making playoffs. Given they're 2 games behind 500, but the AFC is probably just that touch behind the NFC and how competitive it's going to be for the those wildcard spots. JJ, we spoke about it before. This is only his 4th start. He's 2-1 so far.
Pooh Bowl.
Yeah, this is real poopy. Browns 2-6, Jets 1-7. Quinton Williams, we didn't mention before, traded to the Cowboys.
Bless you, thank you.
For a second and a first. And Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson to stay at the Meadowlands for now. There was lots of interest for them.
They traded more for Williams than they got for Micah Parsons. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Jerry's getting a bit old, I think.
Yeah.
The Breece Hall video, have you seen him? He's just driving around a cart in the locker room. So,
no.
Bro's checked out, I think, is where everyone's talking about. So.
Just showing up for a paycheck.
Yeah.
They're just blowing up this season, haven't they?
Yeah.
Having said that, they can win this game.
True.
It's very, very
Browns
winnable at home against Browns.
Yeah. I think Browns' defense will be too good for them. Their defense has been good.
Browns, Browns are the favourites, $1.77. Jets are $2.10.
And what were Ravens Vikings in the Purple Bowl?
That's right, yeah. Ravens are favourites, $1.40. Vikings are out at $2.94.
A bit too short away for me for the Ravens.
Yeah,
Lamar
might be some value in the Vikings. What's the Jets' plans for this season?
I think they're going to win one game. Well, if they don't win tomorrow, I honestly, they've blown it all up. It's Fields and Tyrod Taylor are week by week, who's actually going to be starting.
They've got 5 picks in the next 2 drafts. They're probably going to have the number one.
They could be good in 2028.
Yeah.
But
this is the Jets we're talking about. Though.
But everyone talks about in 2020, 2021, they also had 5 first-round picks.
Yeah, and look how good.
And then most of these guys that just traded away were guys they picked from those drafts. So.
Remember Sam Darnold in the Jets days? They're this guy stinks. And then you watch the first half, for Seattle the other night, this guy's the best quarterback in football.
Yeah. So what's wrong with the Jets organization? Is it New York? Is it the
it's culture. The Browns have the same problem. It's just quarterbacks. Look at Baker. That's the same thing. Some of these teams just have shit culture, and then they just where players go to die essentially.
So rough. I want to look at
not wrong.
I'm looking at the Jets' schedule because if they don't win tomorrow, I want to see if they can get another win.
Nope.
Okay, so at Patriots, probably not. At Baltimore, probably not. Home Atlanta, home
maybe.
Miami. They could win either of those.
Yeah, week 14.
At Jacksonville, at New Orleans.
Saints probably is anyone I can say.
New England, Buffalo. There's, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4... Let's go 5 guaranteed losses coming up. So I think at best they're winning 4 games this season. Yep. I think realistically it's 2 or less.
Yes. Lock in that first round pick, I think. And then
hope
a decent quarterback comes out.
I know we don't talk a whole lot of college football in this show, but
Playoff bracket came out.
Well, and Indiana got out on the last play of the game today against Penn State, and Fernando Mendoza potentially could be
number 1.
Yeah, could be going potentially to the Jets. Obviously, it's too far out to really tell at the moment, but interesting day in college football nonetheless.
The interesting take from that, because I think it's a 12-team bracket at the moment, and no Texas in there. I think they're 1 out for all those Manning fans, that is.
I think it's pretty much confirmed he's going to go again, Arch Manning.
I think so.
Yeah. They've obviously had really high expectations, and it's hard when you run into Ohio State week 1.
Yeah. It's funny, you hear about his bad games, you don't hear about his good games.
I think it's still pretty unproven against the higher-end SEC opponents. When he's torn teams apart, they haven't been ranked teams.
The bloke's also only played 8 games.
9 games?
Yeah.
Something like that. So it's still pretty early into his career. Well, that's just the way the internet works, right?
Agree.
Super hype, and then no, he's a bum, and there's no sort of middle ground. Can we actually see him play?
Plus the name on the jersey doesn't help.
It's always going to inflate things, isn't it?
Yes. All right, what do we go next? Saints Panthers. So I can cover that quickly.
I kind of wanted to talk more college football.
Saints Panthers. Why are you pulling it up? I was just going to cover off them quickly and say the Panthers probably going to beat them. Heavy favourites. I think McMillan actually is dealing with hamstring injury. He might be out, which is interesting because him, Evans, I can't remember the other 2. There was 2 others. Basically, the big name 6'4 footers. Sorry, the big wide receivers.
6'4", is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm after.
Tongue twister.
Yeah,
tall wideouts. That's what
tall wideouts. Yeah, all the big names for that position all struggling with hamstrings. So shock.
Well, they say
big lanky dudes that run.
Yeah, long and strong is meant to be good for hammies, but anyways, could also just be some luck or bad luck involved there.
Yeah, biggest favourites in that one.
Odds there for Panthers Saints?
Panthers are heavy favourites at $1.38. Saints are out at $3.06.
How about it's week 10? They've won 5 games. This is the first time they're a favourite.
Really?
Yeah, so
right.
people are kind of like, oh, maybe they're actually not too bad. How good's Rico Dowdle over the last month of football? Packers fan here. Cheesy.
Cooked you guys,
Absolutely.
Well, I finally committed to him, so had some sore quads during the week, but I think he'll be all right for this one.
Watch the Saints win their second game of the season.
Yeah, probably.
They're still starting, not the Sloth, what's his name? Shuck.
Tyler Shuck, and hasn't looked
Great
so far. Yeah, I think they're the NFC version of the Jets. Although early in the year, you're like, they just keep losing, but they don't look that bad. But now it's kind of like, I don't know. Again, if they don't win tomorrow, I don't know when they are going to get wins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk any more college football?
I've got the rankings up here at the moment. I think Ohio State are the best team, and it's theirs probably to lose, but it will be interesting to see Indiana, who can get through a Penn State, albeit on the last play, and potentially have the best quarterback in college football.
And then you got the powerhouses.
There's some of the
Georgia,
SEC powerhouses in A&M, Bama, Georgia. A&M undefeated for now. One loss each for Bama and Georgia. Oregon looking pretty good. Dante Moore will probably go pretty high in the draft next year. Ole Miss, the SEC is pumping. LSU sacked their coach, Brian Kelly. That was since last pod, but it's kind of old news. Yeah. And pretty handily got looked after today by Alabama. Scrolling down there, I think realistically it is Ohio State's to lose, but Indiana could, A&M could, Bama, Georgia definitely could, Oregon probably could, and then it starts to maybe get a little bit far fetched. But
so 12 team, and as I said, and number 13 Texas, they're the one out at this stage.
One of the mad stories will be Vanderbilt, who are 15. They're 8-2 under Diego Pavia, who is in that Netflix show. He's probably 5'10", with the Bart Simpson inserts when Milhouse gets the full-out ball roll. So he's pushing hard to get drafted in the NFL. Certainly not prototypical as a pro quarterback, but he's leading Vandy to big wins, and they beat Alabama last year and got home in overtime today. So would be a real Cinderella story if they were to make it into the top 12.
Bills Dolphins.
How's this stat? Bills are 16-1 against the Finns since 2016. So the last decade has been one-way traffic. The all-time series with the Bills win tomorrow gets evened up. So that speaks to how dominant the Dolphins were in the 70s and 80s over the Bills. Josh Allen into the MVP. I nearly said quarterback MVP, but that's the same thing.
Same thing.
$2.60. They did beat the Chiefs last week. Obviously,
it's wild to think that Allen's going to be MVP and he's got no good wide receivers. So.
Yeah. I get.
That's probably why he's going to be.
His tight ends are pretty good.
That's probably why he's going to be MVP.
Well, watch Gabe Davis is coming back, so watch him go do bananas numbers with Allen.
But he's like Allen. I think each year we're like he needs a dude. He needs a dude. He needs a dude out wide. He's kind of shown that he doesn't need a dude. Yeah. Like he can do it with just a sort of.
Yeah, but also he hasn't won a Super Bowl. When we get deep
to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, does he need that offensive output when it gets deep in a playoff season?
And I think same thing as well. He can beat the Chiefs regular season. Can he beat them when it comes to an AFC Championship game? We're already looking towards January, but that's probably going to be the storyline there. I think the Bills have sort of steadied the ship after a couple games dropped that they probably didn't expect to. But yeah, Allen, MVP favourite.
Dolphins, on the other hand, they stink. It's quite wild to think that 2 years ago, that 70-30 game against Denver basically broke the Finns and righted Denver. So it's an interesting story on the Denver side of it. I know it well, but the Dolphins have been basically average since that point, and they sacked the GM during the week and didn't trade anyone during the trade deadline. But Mike McDaniel is the head coach for now. But
you reckon Tua's going to see out the season? He's looks dreadful some weeks, and then like last week he was pretty serviceable. There's been another game where he's pretty good, so still has good games in him.
Yep.
But consistency's obviously been a real issue.
I agree. They don't have a lot of good backup options though, whether they want to see what Uwers has or go back to Zach Wilson. So we'll see.
Bills win this, that'd be pretty short, wasn't it?
Yeah, shortest odds of the week there, $1.17 against $5.10 for the Dolphins.
All right, this is the game of the week. Let's spend a little bit of time on it. The New England Patriots are 7-2. Who would have thought that at the start of the year? Take on Tampa in Tampa, 6-2 for the Bucks. We spoke a little bit before about Drake May, how he has been unreal. He's actually the second favourite for the MVP, $4.50 in his second year. There is the knock on them, I suppose, is outside of Buffalo, they haven't beaten anyone really good. So they're 6 in a row at the moment. That run is Carolina, Buffalo, New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland, Atlanta. Real good litmus test for them tomorrow away at Tampa Bay.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
What do you reckon? Patriots can't win the Super Bowl, can they?
They got in the Super Bowl.
They're equal best record in the AFC, but it's like.
Yeah. How deep did Vrabel take the Titans year one? Was that the year they went deep playoffs, or was it the following year? I can't remember.
I don't think they did. They go to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, or
I think it
just before it.
I think it might have been the AFC Championship game. Yeah. If not, it was the divisional.
Yeah, there was a year they went deep, but and it's kind of like, and I feel this like they've got the right voice in. They've changed the culture now. And they've got that momentum. I don't want to say if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, they're not going to next year, kind of thing. But it's when they everyone kind of understands what they've got and what they're doing, their system, their style, etc. And then that's kind of where it changes. So I think they're a young team. They've got some talent. They're a bit banged up at some spots. They always play pretty decent defense at the Patriots. So. Yeah, I think they're a solid squad, but I'm just not sure. Having said that, the AFC is probably up for grabs this year, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
if it was the NFC, I'd be like, no. But in the AFC, Bills are still probably the best team.
Bills
Chiefs, if they get a run.
Need to get a run. But the teams at the top at the moment, with Denver the best record, followed by the Colts and Steelers. And
that's what it is, right? Yeah. So the 7-2 teams are Colts, Denver and Patriots, and everyone's like, they've been good, but you look at Denver's offense on Thursday night, I'm like, I don't think that team can win the Super Bowl. But the defense, you're like, well, they probably could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard in the AFC.
Yeah. And, So I think they've definitely got a good – they put their name in the hat in the ring. And like you said, Bucks are a good chance. Bucks themselves are really banged up on offense. You'll know, Jimmy, they're – missing all their main options at wide receiver. Bucky Irving still hasn't played.
Running back.
So, they're just Baker's just been playing unreal, keeping them rolling over. So
Titans did make the AFC Championship game back in 2019.
So was that Vrabel's first season?
Second, I think.
Second.
They missed playoffs into AFC Championship. I think he's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach. Titans did him dirty, honestly. I think they fucked him trading away AJ Brown, and he lost the team. I think that was his decision. Anyway.
Did you see the Stephon Diggs news?
There's got another baby with another baby.
4.
Yeah, 4 this year.
4 simultaneously. So obviously the high-profile stuff with Cardi B, who's expecting at the moment. Congrats to the young couple. But the paternity test.
Have you seen that video, the Bills locker room when he was there?
No, it's Vikings. It's Vikings.
Vikings.
They're like, who would you let date your sister?
Who wouldn't you let date your sister?
Everyone.
Diggs. The boy must pipe, let's be honest. He's got 4 kids in this year, so
trying to break that Tyreek record.
Yep.
Well, it's obviously
he's going for that Cromartie record, bro. He had 13, I think.
It's not hurting their play, that's for sure. And he's been unreal in a few games too.
Yep.
Not week in, week out consistency, but has had 100 yards and touchdowns, multiple touchdowns.
Some of his mic'd up stuff's pretty good because you can definitely see that they've bought into the culture, and he's trying to, as the vet in that team, mimic what the guys want to say and push. So I think you go back to talk about Allen, and guy he misses is probably Diggs, and then Diggs has been that dude for a younger quarterback in May. So I think they're going right.
Let's go into the late window. We've got 2 NFC West matchups and then one of the playoff games from last year. Cardinals, Seahawks, the Kyler Murray era may be over.
Yeah, it's interesting because they put him on IR, so he's going to miss at least 4 weeks. Last week he was basically training limited for most of the days, and I think he was basically almost good to go, and they've pick Jacoby instead. So
To be fair, their offense has been better
with him,
Jacoby Brissett under centre.
Look at McBride's numbers with him. So
McBride's catching touchdowns.
Yeah,
Like that's scary if you're going up against him in fantasy because last year just possession guy catching bulk balls but didn't get a touchdown until real late in the year, and now he's actually doing both.
Yeah. So I thinking probably could be it, and I just watch him wind up getting traded to like Dolphins and. You hear Mike McDaniel over there, for example, a little dynamo in his offense. But the funny story out of this is COD comes out next week. So good timing for him. Good time for Kyler. So anyway, that was a joke. So.
How good are the Seahawks? Are they like legit good or like,
I think they're
lose week one in wild card?
Pretty solid on offense, pretty solid on defense. I think offense is where they probably need to work it out against good teams. So look,
they torch the Commanders.
Yeah. Dad's Army over there. The Commanders, the oldest team in football. I think they're
giving up 30 plus, I think, 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
The Commanders.
Yep. They lost Lattimore, I think, the week before with ACL. So, it doesn't help.
They've been banged up,
But I think they just haven't kind of worked out the good combination with Charbonnet and Walker and how that kind of works. Smith and Jigba has been awesome, but Horton kind of played really well last week in replace of Cooper Kupp, who's hasn't been the best. So whether that's been limiting them a little bit, they did trade for the Saints dude
Rashid Shaheed,
maybe get them some more deep threat options. We'll see. Donald's playing unreal, so they're going to keep him in a lot of games. The challenge will be come playoff times, and I think they're a playoff team. How far they can go.
I've got Darnold's first half numbers against the Commanders. It was 28-0 at one stage. I think they maybe kicked a field goal. 13 of 13 for 229, 4 touchdowns, 0 intercepts.
Jeez.
Yeah, torched.
The numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seahawks would be pretty strong favourites, I'd imagine there, mate.
Yep. Oh, that's pretty good.
Crashed.
Good question. Yes, they are $1.27, and the cards are out at $3.80.
I think I forgot to ask you, Bucks, Pats?
Oh yeah, Bucks are favourites, $1.69. Patriots are $2.18.
Bucks,
yeah. That's probably why. Baker at home.
Big NFC West matchup here. Rams are 6-2. They go down to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers 6-3. Mac Jones will start again whilst Brock Purdy continues to recover from his toe injury. They did lose Michael Williams, unfortunately, the 49ers to an ACL. They're real banged up, but they're winning games. Yeah. And the guy that's normally hurt, CMC, is playing lights out.
Yeah, well, that's the continuous running joke is they keep sacrificing players to keep CMC healthy. So another week, another ACL. So
they're doing the PRP with their other players' blood for CMC.
Yeah. So they're banged up. Like you said, they're banged up all over the place. But if you get 200 yards out of CMC all over the place, you will take it. So, but having said that, I think the Rams are probably too good. Probably because Matthew Stafford is being the man at the moment.
Do you know what CMC is for targets in the NFL this
year?
Yeah,
he's wide receiver 1, bro.
He's wide receiver 3 for targets. So only Jamar Chase and Chris Olave have got more targets.
600 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And he's actually caught more balls than Olave. So he's equal with Puka Nacua, and he's just behind Jamar Chase for receptions.
That's crazy.
But having said that, they've missed almost all their wide receiving core at some point, and Kittle's been in and out.
How many of those receptions for Chase were from last couple of weeks as well?
Yeah, true. Joe Flacco over Jake Browning's been a massive thing for Chase this season. Hasn't it? This is a coin flip, I reckon. I might just lean just towards the Rams. Like their offense has been.
And the defense
crazy. Matt Stafford is 4th in terms of MVP odds.
Do you have MVP odds there, Jimmy, if you want to get the rest of it?
Get the odds, because I'll get Stafford's numbers. I think he's thrown 2 picks. Stafford should just about be first in the MVP.
He leads for touchdowns, and he's got 2 picks.
Yeah, 21 touchdowns, 2 picks.
The bloke just doesn't run the football, so...
Yeah, that is true. Credit to their O-line as well. He's only been sacked 13 times. The Rams are looking really, really, really good.
Red hot. Yeah, that would be my difference here. I think the Rams are just... I'm going to pick the healthy team over the banged up one.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Run us through those odds amongst the top 4, because it's starting to look like a 4-person race.
Yeah. So, no, definitely. So, Josh Allen is favourite at $2.63. After him, we do have Drake May at $4.50. Patrick Mahomes, $5. He's always going to be up there. And then Stafford is rounding up that top four at $6.50. Fifth on the list is Sam Darnold at $11.
Can you find Lamar for me?
That's it. I was like, how far is Lamar going to come from?
Because they're going to go on a 9-win winning streak. He's
$31.
He's going to go mental when he'll
$31.
fly out that list.
He's still shorter than like positional players like Jonathan Taylor or JSN or Sam C.
Jonathan Taylor is a pretty interesting one because have you seen for touchdowns? He's got as many touchdowns as Barkley had last year.
Crazy, yeah.
And everyone's just like, well, if Barkley can't win MVP, no one ever will. And he'd be like, well, JT's already kind of matching.
He's on
that
pace, the same pace as LaDainian Tomlinson was when he won it 20 odd years ago. But I feel even more so than 20 years ago, it's more of a quarterback's award.
Yes, I agree. But
I also wonder, if the Colts don't lose again and he has 20 plus touchdowns, it's not impossible.
Yeah,
right?
if he gets close to that 30 mark. Then
if he gets 30 touchdowns, he's the MVP. I'll fucking say it right now.
What's LT's record? Is it 28?
I think 28 all purpose, yeah. Check that out.
It's more than that all purpose. I
Do you
think he had
reckon?
28.
28 on the ground.
Yes.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting.
Because is it the 04 Chargers team?
Yeah.
Best team on paper, never to win it.
They bummed out. They didn't even make the AFC Championship game, I don't think.
You look at that team, though. They are by far the
28, you're right, 28, and he caught 3. So he had 31 all purpose. Crazy.
Absolutely
So
wild.
there you go. That's the bath. You need 30.
You need 30.
You need
to
30.
win the MVP.
And he's on pace at the moment. But yeah.
Maybe
Good chance.
that's why a running back hasn't won it.
Yeah, that's why they compare
They need to-
what Barkley did last year to what LT did. And they're like, yeah, not close enough.
His rushing stats alone, I should say, 895 yards, 12 touchdowns, ripping off 5.7 yards per carry, and it was actually quiet last week against the Steelers.
Yeah, that was a big down for them. What's his total? He's got 12 and what?
I'm gonna have to do a because I've just got the receiving stats here, so I'm gonna have to find him.
He's not in the top 50.
I feel like he's
Touchdowns,
caught 4.
So by touchdowns, maybe. That might get
You know what's the easiest way to do this?
Just Google
Go to
it,
my
show
mad
the
fantasy team and look up my stud player. That's gonna
Why are you doing that?
you guys
No,
know
you-
my record in fantasy football, just for the listeners?
It's not how you start the season, Pepe. It's how you finish it.
Yeah, that's true.
We were just talking about the 14-2 2004 Chargers who didn't even make the AFC Championship game.
That's my team right now.
So there you go.
He has 2 receiving touchdowns. So
14 in total.
So 14 total.
Yeah, I think Barkley had 15 in total last year. That was the stat.
Crazy.
You're
Because it
right.
doesn't have a quarterback that's tush pushing, on the goal line.
Also
Pilfering
true,
touchdowns.
but yes.
The odds on this game definitely reflect the injury depleted
Rams favourites?
49ers. Rams are favourites at $1.37. 49ers at $3.09.
Pretty short. And the last game of the late window, Lions 5-3 take on the Commanders 3-6. Marcus Mariota starting in place of Jaden Daniels. That was a nasty looking elbow dislocation last week. I was pretty quick on the chat with you boys saying, "Oh, look, it does look gross, but if there's no fracture, foreseeably not his season done," and didn't even go to IR.
Yeah,
So-
no fracture, no ligament damage. Is what they've said. So
That's wild.
Crazy, eh? That you could do that and be potentially playing 3 or 4 weeks later. Khalil Mack, obviously different position,
Was he 4? And
4 weeks.
with a brace.
With a
though.
brace,
So
yeah.
I guess it is his non-throwing arm, but you'd probably don't want your quarterback playing with a brace on. So
I also wonder if the position, like if they
don't win a game from here to there.
Yeah, do you
If
risk
they're
it?
3-10.
Do you risk it? Probably. We'll watch that space, but no IR, so expect him back sort of before Christmas.
Yes.
Christmas would be, it's way too far away, but expect him back potentially early
Mid-December.
Early December, yeah.
I suppose they are playing for a wild card spot, so
Yeah, maybe.
potentially.
But they have to win some. They have to win games in that period.
Let me get their schedule.
Yeah.
Like I said, if they're not going to win this game, I don't think. I think the Lions will win this.
Yeah.
They're
It's a tough game.
too banged up.
Their defense has been shocking as well,
Yeah.
the Commanders.
Yeah, they're old. They're banged up. They're injured. I just don't think they're that good. It's a big regression, I think, for them.
All right, so they have Miami at home, by Denver at home. At least they're at home for a while, and then at Minnesota, at New York Giants.
2 Philly games.
Yeah.
So I was looking at this though. you're going to get Daniels back, and he's going to play 2 Philly games and play Dallas potentially.
Yeah, they're all.
He was like, do you
Not
really
great
want
games.
to run him into the Eagles defense straight backs? I don't know.
4-game losing streak. They've conceded 38, 28, 44, 25.
So I think they lose the Lions. They might beat the Miami. They might beat the Dolphins by. I think they lose to Denver. I think they lose to Minnesota.
That's
New York, they probably could
you're already
win. But at that point, you're going into.
You're at 8 losses, 9 losses. You're done, I think.
And then you have to must-win games against Eagles. Is just not happening. So.
Especially not in the NFC, where that wild card is going to be super duper competitive. Like you've got whole divisions that are.
They're last in the division, aren't they?
True.
Because the Cowboys have the tie.
Giants
Giants
2-7. But you have to think the whole NFC
So,
West
yeah,
and the whole.
Yeah.
They're too far back
The
in the
whole
NFC.
NFC North and 3 of the 4 NFC West teams are above 500.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
I don't think it's going to be too competitive.
Yep. Lions are obvious favourites at $1.21. The Commanders are $4.45.
Lions don't quite look like the juggernaut that they were last year, but they could certainly heat up and get on a roll.
Yeah, they're not the offensive powerhouse. Yeah, losing Ben Johnson has hurt them.
Yeah, Ben Johnson looks like he's a pretty good coach. All right, Sunday night football. The Steelers go to LA to take on the Chargers. Steelers are 5-3. Chargers are 6-3. We spoke earlier about the Steelers D trouncing the Colts last week with 6 turnovers and holding the potential MVP to 45 rushing yards. Bad news for the Chargers with their O-line. Joe Alt is hurt again. Can you see what the injury is there, Monks? And Herbert got sacked 6 times. He's been sacked 29 times on the year. You might want to look after your franchise guy, although it is hard when half your O-line is banged up.
So that's why they made that trade for Penning from the Saints. Who can play
Just
a
trying
bit
to
of
sturdy up some protection for
give
Herbert.
them some more options. So
Alt is out for the season. Wow, I didn't know it was
they had
season.
surgery. He had surgery.
Okay. So Cindy has
right.
probably had a tightrope put in. That's concerning, I think, because Chargers with Joe Alt, different team to Chargers without Joe Alt.
Yeah, I agree.
Grab us some odds there. I still think at home they, might be, they're favourites.
Yep. Their favourites $1.63.
Watch them what that Steelers defense did last week.
I have concerns.
I'm
Hey,
not so
Like,
sure.
your O-line's banged up. You're already, I think Herbert's the 4th most sacked quarterback, and then you've got to run into TJ Watt. That is a little bit worrying, I suppose.
Steelers offense is not.
Yeah, they won that game all off their defense. They weren't lighting them up on offense, and Chargers defense is pretty good. So,
Yeah, I'm going to say coin toss. It's going to be a close football game.
and then Monday Night Football, huge game, could be the NFC Championship game. The Eagles 6-2 take on the Packers 5-2-1.
Well, the way the Packers played the Panthers last week, I'm not so sure about.
They're an enigma, aren't they? Because they belted the Lions week 1. They've looked really good against some good teams, and then they have lost the Browns and lost the Panthers. And
Love can be a little bit hot and cold himself. So.
did you see the one where he was rushing around and had 11 seconds in the pocket?
Yeah, and then threw it to the back of the end zone to only a Panthers.
Like there wasn't a Packers player on the screenshot.
Yeah.
The guy he's had too much time to think about it. He was looking at all the grass in front
Yeah,
of him.
he's thinking I'm housing this.
He
bitch.
could have housed it, but forgot the ball.
Just forgot which team was playing for. It was running around for too long.
It was a few key. Love threw another bad intercept as well, where forced the ball, didn't have to into triple coverage. It was his only pick of the game, but there was that 2 missed field goals, and that was that. Panthers didn't turn the ball over too much, and
Pound of the rock.
Rico Dowdle pounded the rock. So the formula is there for beating the Packers. The Panthers and Browns have both laid it out, but when they do get on a roll, they can look pretty bloody good.
I think the Packers on offense in Love's defense have a weapon problem. Like they just lost Kraft to ACL, but they don't have. They chop and change the wide receivers so much because of all the ins and outs in their injuries. So whether Watson can maybe take a bit,
He's healthy
and play a bit more and take more of a role like he had been previously. But that's a dude that's really struggled with hamstring injuries going forward. So.
The Tuckercraft injury is devastating. Like you're talking about a guy who they didn't spend huge draft capital on him that was tight end 1 for yards and touchdowns.
He looks like George Kittle.
Yep.
That's the role kind of guy they think he is. But
Yep.
Musgrave will have to fit in there, but I don't think he's that type of player.
No.
And then you think Gollan's banged up with shoulder, Wicks is banged up, Reed should be back soon, but still on IR. Dobbs, I think, has been banged up during the week, doesn't have an injury designation for this one. And then Watson's been limited as they manage him coming back from his ACL. So
Smash Jacobs, I think, and Christian Watson, like you said, has actually looked pretty good the last couple of weeks. So, going to be hard offensively. The defense as well didn't really step up against the Panthers last week, but have looked good at times. Running into an Eagles team, which is pretty good both sides of the ball. Obviously, the defending champs are 6-2, and the thing that scares me the most is Saquon looked like 2024 Saquon last week. Was against the Giants. But the Giants, at least front seven on paper, is pretty good. Yep. He had 150 rush yards, a touchdown, 24 receiving yards, touchdown. Contain him is going to be really important.
And he didn't play the fourth quarter because of his groin injury, and then Tank did another 100 yards on the Giants. So Saquon could have had an even bigger day. Ball accounts good for this one. Also for the Eagles, they did trade for Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins to add more edge talent to their defense. And then they also picked up Jai Alexander from the Ravens during the week to help with their secondary, former Packer, of course.
Going up against his old team.
So, yeah.
That defense is so stacked. Like, you bring in
talent.
Phillips and Alexander. I don't even know where Alexander might be their third or fourth string corner, really. Or
coverage. So
Mitchell, DeJean, Jackson. They've got him listed as a second string right corner at the moment.
Yeah, I think Mitchell and DeJean have kind of been up and down, so I think that's why they've made this move. But again, Alexander wasn't doing great for over there at the Ravens, which is why they were happy to let him go.
You're talking about a guy 2 years ago who was top three corner in the NFL, so it's a fucking pretty good pick.
Like I said, he's in his 30s, isn't he? And the NFL comes at you fast.
Yeah, he'd be close.
31.
What do you say? You're saying 31?
Really? Yes.
I reckon he's 29.
28. We're both right.
28. There you go. He's still got.
Like I said, the NFL comes
ages
fast.
ahead.
The NFL comes in fast. So it's a young man's game, unfortunately.
Can I get some odds there, please, amongst?
So your Packers are actually favourites in this one, $1.81. It is a coin flip. Eagles are $2.04.
That's fine. It's just when they're $1.10 favourites. That's when you're going to watch it.
Yeah, that's it.
The definite wins is the ones that lose.
Yeah.
Buys for the Chiefs, Bengals, Cowboys, Titans, and that will do us, I think, for the NFL chat as we roll into part 2 of the season.
Do some NBA, Jimmy.
Curry sets, fires, puts it up, bang!
2 weeks into the NBA after
Guess the table, Jimmy.
After starting off with all the FBI,
gambling,
crap start from a news perspective. For us, down under, the Bulls starting 6-2, and Josh Giddey playing out of his skin. Let's start there. He's averaging 22 points per game, 8.8 boards, 8 assists. He's already had 2 triple doubles and has been a big part of
you seen
their
the stat?
success.
He's the first guy since Michael Jordan to have 2 triple doubles. So.
2 for what's
for the Bulls? For the Bulls.
Really?
Yep.
That is incredibly surprising.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there we go. You heard it. The Aussie Jordans there. They're 6-3 actually. They lost today, but he's got the Bulls off to a really.
Can you
good
check
start.
to see if they've said anything about his ankle injury? He got crossed up and had his ankles literally broken. So
literally,
well, he limped off. So see if they probably won't say much, but
this is today. The NBA notoriously tight-lipped with some of these. Embarrassing moment against Cavaliers.
Yeah. Oh, he whether his ankle just gave up and that's why it made it look way worse than it was, I don't know. Or whether he limped off to cover up the fact that he got cooked.
Who cooked him? DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter got over it.
DeAndre Hunter might have literally broken Josh Giddey's ankles from today.
That's what I just said.
Find a video.
Direct quote.
Watch that space. Hopefully his ankle is okay.
He's here in the front. Watch him. He goes back and then then
oh, no.
He limps off after that.
Okay. All right.
But you can't say anything, Jimmy. They didn't say like high ankle, low ankle.
No, I think it's too early.
That's
Looks like
a
his
lateral
right
ankle.
foot.
Yeah, it's a lateral ankle mechanism as well. So fingers crossed, no Cindy, and miss a week or 2 and not affect his season too much.
Maybe just a little bit butthurt, a little bit humiliated. Needed to.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So we started with the Bills, but let's go back up to the top. Pistons 7-2, Cavs 7-3. Definitely The Pistons looking like a solid team under Cade Cunningham. It's early stages. You know, you'd probably expect the Cavs to potentially be the best team in the East. Sixers, we spoke about it in the pre-season review, or preview, I should say.
Yep.
Tyrese Maxey, definitely his team. He is first in the East for points per game, 33.5. Embiid been playing limited minutes, but obviously as a team, you know, they're looking pretty good.
Oh, definitely. Seen some dreadful highlights from Embiid.
He just, his body's
Actually,
his
not
body's
as
cooked, I think.
yeah, not as bad as I'm trying to remember which Jamal Lamar. How is it?
What team? You're going to have to give us something here, man.
It's Memphis.
Ja Morant?
Ja Morant, yeah. So, some of his highlights of he literally just throwing the ball into the stands because by all accounts he wants out and he's had enough. So.
Yeah, I have seen some
right.
Ja stuff, which is a shame because he's so talented.
Yes.
Bucks 6-3. Giannis looking pretty good. Put 40 up the other night. Have I got his PPG's 33.4, second in the East. They're looking all right. Bulls just aforementioned. Knicks, Heat, Raptors, Hawks, Magic. Celtics 4-6, starting off without Jason Tatum. Obviously, Jaylen Brown's team at the moment. The starting five as well on Netflix. I just finished that. Interesting cat, Jaylen Brown. Like quite well spoken and into some potentially more intellectual pursuits than what you'd maybe.
He's been getting cooked about his hairline though. So.
Yeah, have you seen that? You know
Just give up on it, bro.
Or when they play the team that's wearing white.
Yes.
And someone takes potentially a bit of a charge and his head's rubbing off on there.
I love this cover. After it, he's just like, that's just AI, bro. It's just
It's AI, bro. That's good. You just use it for everything now.
Yeah.
That's just AI, man. That's not me. That's AI.
But it's happened in multiple games this year, so you might need to put
His head's
the
rubbing
paint
off.
down. So
The shoe polish.
yes, the shoe polish.
Hornets are 3-6, and then three teams down the bottom. I think we expected two to be down there. The Nets and the Wizards. The Pacers really are missing Hallie. They're 1-8. I wouldn't put a line through them just yet, but obviously they're going to need to pull their finger out.
I'll give them to Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. That's the deadline, isn't it? It's Christmas, surely.
Christmas is the deadline. I'll give them to them.
Get us some Hallie news. It's still too early. We won't have a.
I think we talked about it. It's all next year. They'll be back.
I think it'll be before Christmas, which is pretty crazy. Pacers have upgraded.
Old news, I think.
Is it old?
Yeah.
Injury report. No, there's nothing there. Nothing there.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about that, I think it will be after Christmas. It was.
Oh, we went through all the Achilles injuries.
Yeah.
last time. During the review. I'm pretty sure we said they were all
Well,
in January sometime.
Well, Hallie will be. I think Hallie will be later than that.
Yeah.
It's the last game.
Yeah,
Game
it
7.
was like January and Feb was the three of them.
Yeah.
Well,
he could
between
be.
him, Spider, and was Spider? No, Dame. Lillard.
Yeah, Dame and Tatum.
Dame and Tatum. Yes.
Yeah, it's just listed as out all year.
Yeah.
So get a bit too excited. Maybe you do have to put a line through them then. Like
I said, I'll give them to Christmas, but they're struggling now. There's nothing to right that ship, unfortunately.
don't have him, don't have Miles Turner, which is crazy to think that they were a bee's dick away from winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the West. The team that did beat them in the finals, they're flying. They're 9-1. SGA is second in the West with points per game at 33. He's already $2.70 for the MVP, which is pretty crazy, especially as Nikola Jokic has a pulse. And they're probably only going to get better because Jalen Williams, J-Dub, not back for him just yet. He's coming back from wrist surgery. So they're the team to beat. It's going to be everyone's chasing them. They've got a target on their backs. They're averaging 123 points per game through the first 10 and undefeated at home. Teams below them also undefeated at home and looking pretty good. Spurs 7-2, Nugs 7-2. Wemby still hooping after his crazy first couple of games. Just human highlight reel. He's already $1.40 for Defensive Player of the Year. And you've got some notes there on your boy Nikola Jokic, the triple dub man. So what's this since 1980?
So for 30, because he had a 30, 15, 15 game during the week. So that's his seventh for his career. And since 1980, across the entire league, there's only been seven
other
total.
guys.
Seven, in total. So
Freak.
yeah, he's an absolute freak. And I think still averaging his usual triple-double. It'll be interesting to see. He's always going to be in that MVP conversation as long as he's putting those numbers up. But yeah.
They've won four in a row. They're, a couple games behind OKC. They're going to be a high seed, you'd think, come May next year.
Lakers a bit interesting because they're kind of been up and down with injuries, with Luka in and out and Reeves in and out. And
Luka's only played 5 games, but he's averaging 40 points
in
those 5 that he has played.
I did see, and still no LeBron, and a lot of chat that maybe he should come off the bench. So
maybe.
So he doesn't ruin their current chemistry. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that sort of plays out. And Bronny filled in a little bit too. So.
He's playing like 11 minutes, I think, Bronny. So he's not just a passenger. Certainly, Austin Reeves, not just a passenger.
Yes.
Have I got it written there?
He had 50 the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, 31 points per game for Austin Reeves. Hillbilly Kobe killing it. Rockets 5-3. Minnesota 5-4. Portland off to a better start than anyone would have suspected. Golden State and Phoenix hovering around 500. Jar just mentioned unhappy at Memphis. Be interesting to see potential trade destinations for him. And then looking down the bottom, Kings, Jazz, that's not unexpected. Clippers, slow.
Yep.
They're old. They're not going to want to leave this, too late. It's still early. They're only a game or two out of the play-ins at this stage. And then Dallas and New Orleans. It's just so tight in the West, isn't it?
Yeah. Zion injured for Pels?
Yeah, I think so.
Was the case. So.
See if you can find something there for skinny Zion.
Yeah, if he's out, that's probably them done.
If it's anything long, yeah.
Which they probably won't say.
Just says unavailable. Scroll down for us. Williamson, left hamstring. So you'd think a month, maybe 4 to 6 weeks.
Expected to return next week.
There you go. So it's pretty low-grade hamstring. Yeah. Nothing to be too concerned about for Pels fans, I wouldn't think. Mm-hmm. What was that about tall and skinny before?
Yeah, true. Yep. Long hamstrings.
Long. That'll do us for the NBA for now.
Jimmy's just covering off MVP, as you mentioned. SGA still in there at the top, and then you've got Luka actually is in there at 2. I can't see what his numbers are.
I'll read them because I can see it fine. SGA's 270, Luka 450, Joker $5, Giannis $6, Wembanyama 11, and then it blows out.
Yes. Got any value in that?
I don't think Wemby can win it at San Antonio in their current iteration. Give him a season or two, and I think Wemby could certainly win the MVP. I'd be very surprised if it's anyone outside of those other 4.
Okay.
SGA, Joker, Luka, and who am I missing? Giannis.
Yep.
All right, let's talk some soccer before getting into a final round. Overnight, Spurs and United had a 2-2 draw. One of the more interesting draws you'll see in any football. Brian Mbeumo was actually Player of the Month, so good to see United doing something for their long-suffering fans. He actually scored the first goal, and then Spurs went up 2-1 in the 91st minute, and Richarlison shirt off, full carry on, thought they'd won. You'll get a go ahead in injury time. You probably do win those most of the time. A few minutes later, down the other end, DeLitt heads home, 96th minute for the equaliser. Pretty quiet there in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. United scrape away with a point. Other results overnight: Everton win 2-0 over Fulham. West Ham 3-2 over Burnley. Chelsea put on a clinic at home against Wolves 3-0. And then an interesting game: Sunderland, the Black Cats, actually getting a point in their Arsenal tie, and were really probably the better team in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes. It was David Raya, the Arsenal keeper, that really kept them in it until Brian Brobby managed to get one in stoppage time. But Raya made a few good saves. There was definitely an opportunity for Sunderland to not just draw it, but win the whole thing. And check out the Leandro Trossard goal if you haven't seen that. That was sick. Oh, and Spurs before, if you haven't seen Mickey van der Ven's goal from the Champions League earlier in the week, crazy. Centre back gets possession from his own 18-yard box, takes on everyone, looks like Haaland, scores down the other end, does stuff that a centre back should not really be able to do. I suppose, the quality, I suppose, of FC Copenhagen, maybe you can't do that in the EPL, but crazy goal nonetheless. Yeah. Let's run through the league before we go over to the Champions League, because Arsenal are looking actually red hot.
So Liverpool did win a game. Is that what
Yeah,
I'm
they've
saying
won
there?
since the last pod, and
So
they
righted that ship at long last.
Yeah, and
And then
they play City tonight. Yeah, so massive game, particularly with Arsenal giving up a couple of points against Sunderland. They're still well ahead. The Gunners, they're 6 ahead of Chelsea. So 26 for Arsenal through 11 games. Chelsea 20. City can jump Chelsea with a win tonight. Sunderland still holding on to a Champions League spot at the moment in 4th.
Sure.
Spurs 5th, Liverpool 6, Bournemouth 7, United 8, Palace 9, Brighton 10. Then down into the second half, Everton, Aston Villa, Brentford, Newcastle, Fulham, Leeds, Burnley. And then drop zone at the moment is West Ham, but they're 4 points clear of not Forest, and Wolves are in dire straits. Yeah. So Wolves in big trouble, Nottingham in fairly big trouble, and then it's actually pretty tight through. It's probably from 9th there at Palace down to West Ham at 8th. There's only 2 games in that. But yeah, Wolves need to pull their finger out quick sticks. Can you just bring up the Champions League? Because there's only a few undefeated teams in the Champions League. Arsenal are one of them through 4 games, and I think they have 12 points, 11 goals for, 0 conceded. So definitely looking pretty good. It's always going to be hard in the new 36-team format Champions League because you obviously so really who you draw will sort of predict how well you go. And there's an argument, much like the NBA, it's really it comes down to the post-league fixtures in the Champions League. Just go up to the top, monks. The top of the table.
Top of the table. Sorry.
Yeah. Only that's three teams that are 4 wins, no losses, no draws. That's Bayern, Arsenal, and Inter. City there on 10, and then PSG, Newcastle, Real, Liverpool round out the top 8. Remember, you just can't finish in the bottom 8. So to give yourself a chance, you just got to be in the top 24, and to give yourself that first round off, you got to be in the top 8. Let's talk some final round, hey? Massive UFC card, particularly for Aussie fight fans, is a week away. UFC 322 in New York. The 2 main events at the top of the card. Jack Della Maddalena taking on Islam Makhachev, but also at the women's flyweight, 2 of the goats of female fighting. Valentina Shevchenko, the champ, takes on Zhang Wei Li. Let's start with the boys and the welterweight fight between JDM and Makhachev. Shauno, you're pretty keen for this one. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, both these fights have guys and girls coming up in weight. Mm-hmm. So and both are going to have the same challenges, coming up to a bigger weight class. Is there going to be a significant enough issue for them to be able to compete? So for Islam, it's 15 pounds and it's coming up, so it's a pretty decent amount. So
I feel like Islam's big enough though. Like he's only an inch shorter than what JDM is, but yeah,
true. It's how
JDM's pretty thick.
Yeah. So it's how he carries the weight, and then how that kind of works, especially for Islam and his heavy wrestling style. Mm-hmm. How that's going to go against a much bigger man, let's say, weight wise in this one. So I'm pretty interested to see how this fight goes. You probably have to back Islam as a favourite just based on his record and what he's done in the UFC and where he lists him in the pound for pound. But of course, as the Aussie, we want to see Jack do pretty well and maybe get a finish of Islam.
Do you think he has to knock him out? Do you reckon the only way that he can beat him? Do you think if it goes to points, he's any shot?
I also think he can win if it goes to points, but it depends how the fight goes. If he can stuff that wrestling and keep that fight up, that's where potentially the advantage is to him, and he could potentially point his way to a win by outstriking. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
Islam pretty strong favourite, $1.36, $3.16 for JDM, and knockout by KO TKO 525, so not heaps more. So the bookies think if he gets it done, he's got to finish him. 675 for points and 20 They don't think he's going to submit him, which I think, given Islam's history, is probably fair.
Probably fair. Yeah.
You know when JDM's last loss was? 2016. He lost his first 2 fights fighting sort of semi-pro amateur kind of stuff here in Australia. He hasn't lost in the UFC, and he is 18 on the trot, and obviously getting that belt against Bilal Muhammad back in May to realise his dream of being a world champ. And we hold a few belts in the UFC at the moment. We Australians, riding off the success of people from the same country as us. But obviously he's going to have all of Australia behind him, and everyone is pretty aware of the scale of the task ahead of him.
Yeah, everyone's writing him off essentially.
Love being an underdog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can he go and avenge Volk as well? Volk potentially taking that second fight on too short a notice. Maybe had his time again, wouldn't have done that. But yeah, he's obviously a dog, and his fellow countryman goes to potentially avenge him and gets to do it. Obviously the size difference between JDM and Volk is pretty crazy. So in some respects, kudos to Islam for taking it on and going up and trying to get a belt, above,
Two-division champ.
Yeah, exactly, above where he's comfortable. He's pretty much just cleaned out, hasn't he?
It's either go back down and fight Tapura at this point. So, for the women, we've got Bullet taking on Zhang, and I've seen Weili looks very, very bulky leading this, but I guess for her it's only 10 more pounds, but she won't have to cut as much, but it'd be an interesting fight for her to kind of really see where she fits on the, that GOAT women's chat legacy kind of thing. Because I think Bullet has been and continues to be the most dominating female not named Nunes in the UFC for better part of a decade. So I'm heavily backing her in this, but it's going to be a pretty fun striking war, I think, because Weili likes to throw hands.
Mate, if there's any vacancies in the Australian cricket team, they're the right age. 37 for Valentina, 36 for Zhang. Actually, I thought Zhang might have been a bit younger than that. So, two old girls going at it, and the odds here, it's pretty much coin flip, which I also found a little bit interesting there. Yeah, so $1.90 a piece there. Women's pound for pound as well. Number 1, Shevchenko taking on number 2, Zhang Weili, and then probably daylight, I'd say, before you get down to Kayla Harrison. No disrespect, she's only lost once, but in terms of belts and career achievements and accolades,
she's trying to grow her legacy.
Dominance. Yeah.
If she gets that Nunes fight, then that's a different conversation. See who the winner of that is. The rest of the card's pretty interesting. We've got 2 fights in the welterweight with Sean Brady taking on Michael Morales, and then Leon Edwards is taking on Carlos Pratis. So that is basically the top end of the welterweight division.
Crazy how you get three of them, 4 fights in one division.
And for Brady and Edwards, they're both probably trying to look for a title fight. So, and the guys on the other end, if they end up beating these two, will also be looking for, to steal that conversation. So it's pretty interesting. I'm interested to see what Brady's ranking is.
Yeah, I'll try and get that for you now.
I thought he had been flying up a little bit. You're in middle. Let's go down. Down. So
it mustn't be current because I don't know what's going on there. Monks, you got fighter rankings? Yeah, you got it there.
It's just same as yours.
Scroll down, heavy, light, middle. There we go. Bang. So Brady is 2. Edwards is 4. What's Morales? 8.
down,
And Prates 9.
So, those guys trying to jump up and the other two trying to get title fights. So
no one's going to jump Bilal, you wouldn't think. But then with wins... Oh, well, Brady could jump Bilal with a win, couldn't he?
Correct. Because if they don't want to run that back... Say Jack wins, they don't want to run that back, then he's, the next contender. Like, they probably want Muhammad to go away and potentially get a win to get back in that conversation. So that's with a win for him, he's going to be probably the next one off the ranks, unless Islam wins, and then it's a different conversation. They might do something else.
That Michael Morales is the 8th ranked at the moment. He's 18-0, so definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
Talk some F1 to finish up.
Yes, can do.
Sure.
Yes, with a brim brim.
Sebastian Vettel. So
I lost some notes here. You got up there.
Jimmy, scroll down for us. So F1 is in Brazil. They had the sprint race overnight. Can you find the crash for Bortoleto? Actually, see if you can find some crowd angles, because the TV angles don't do it justice for how hard he went in. But anyway,
I've seen that crowd angle.
Yeah, Lando wins the sprint race. Oscar crashes out, unfortunately, early. So talk about Lando, taking a bit of water to put some water on the dry line, because once he did that, 3 guys span off, and Oscar, unfortunately, was one of them and went into the wall. Max did finish 4th. The concern is the championship's slipping away a little bit here for Oscar with that points differential, because was it
9 points?
Yeah, so you get 8 more for Lando off the sprint race. Follow that up. Lando gets pole. He'll start 1 for the race tomorrow morning, which is 4 a.m. our time. Oscar is 4th. Max didn't qualify really well. He's going to be 16th. There's been a lot of rain, so it's pretty wet over there, so it's potentially going to be a very wet race for this. But like I said, Bortolello was the big story. He crashes going down the back straight, doing about 330 into the wall.
Is he all right?
And then, so he hit the wall initially doing at 34 Gs for an impact, and then he followed it up at the corner for a 57 G impact.
57?
Yep. Walked away, he's fine.
I didn't even know G's got that high.
Yeah. So that's the initial crash. So that's Oscar and everyone's sliding off. You need the highest. You need the high speed one, which was maybe a bit later on. See if they can get. It's going to be this corner. No, that's still the early crash. Keep going. Yeah, here we go. Because he hits the wall on the inside here and then flies across into the wall here. Boom. That's at full speed. That's no braking at all. That's the whole straight, which is a long straight. So, 300 plus, and he smashes in. Look at this.
Bam. That angle, you get an appreciation of how fast it is.
Yeah, walks away, and I think he's racing in the race tomorrow. So, yeah. Just goes to the safety where everyone is at these days. It's wild to see that sort of impact. Like, his whole car's off the ground, flying through the air off that corner.
Yeah, dude. Rumour has it that tyre's still rolling down to Argentina.
It's a pretty bad one there, but thankfully all good for him. But yeah, that's wet track in Brazil, likely to be wet. Potentially, a longer race, a lot more accidents and safety cars to come up.
It's do or die for Oscar, hey?
Yeah, it's pretty close. He needs a good finish, needs some points, got to close that. He's now 9 behind. He's got to close that gap. And
also keep Verstappen at bay, which is 30 points ahead of him.
Yeah.
I think they got the Mercedes between them and probably Hamilton's down there. Who's starting second? Jimmy, can you just scroll up for me for that race?
Oh, sorry.
I've got it
got
here.
Antonelli, Charles into Oscar, and then you had Hadjar followed by Russell for your top 6, let's say. And then the finish on motorsport. We have been talking about NASCAR a fair bit. They had their final race Monday for the playoffs. If you know Danny Hamlin, he's probably the biggest, the most winningest driver in their competition. And my comparison there, he's trying to beat Elway, not Dan Marino. So Marino never, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, never won Super Bowl. And Elway, very late in his career, won one to get there. Basically, he was winning this race, had a huge lead, 4 laps to go. They have a crash and they go in for tyres, and he can't get the win, unfortunately, in the overtime for playoffs for a race that he should have won. He didn't get it, and then Kyle Larson gets his second. So pretty devo there for old Denny Hamlin. That's it.
That'll do us for motorsport.
Yeah.
Monks has just sneakily brought up full over Mitch Johnson,
this
destroys
just started
England
playing
with
itself.
searing on
It
the
just
ashes.
started playing itself.
The algorithm knows what you've been watching.
Yeah, is that wicket 0-0-0 wicket?
It's interesting because it's the Adelaide Oval is being renovated at this stage, so the new Adelaide Oval hasn't come out. What year? That's got to be 2015,
13, 14.
13, 14.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Actually,
Good
we lost that series. Pretty sure. Anyways, let's have a chat in a couple of weeks' time. We will be a few days into the first test in Perth. Obviously, the
Hopefully it's
NFL
not over by then.
will. Surely not. not in Perth. Surely. What do you reckon? Ashes predictions? You reckon I think England will grab a game, and I think Sydney will get rained out. I'm going to go Australia 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, that's my
Doesn't
prediction.
seem unrealistic.
No. Anyone want to go 5-0 fuck off?
Yeah, I will. Well, there's been a lot of talk about this worst Australian Ashes team of all time, blah, 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 and a whole bunch of other bullshit. They're old, etc. And the Pommies.
Who is saying that?
Pommies, of course. Pommies think they're red hot. So
People that don't watch cricket.
fuck them Poms, and we'll go 5-0.
What have we been talking about the Pommies?
Yeah, again, we spoke about it last.
Having said that, if Archer and Wood get picked,
They're scary.
they're going to be up there, up to the almost 150, and going to be quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a fun series, honestly. So
It's going to be a lot for Jake Weatherall to take on in 10 days' time.
Yeah.
We've anointed
Definitely.
him, haven't we? All right, this is On The Esky. We like our Aussie sport. We like our world sport. We'll be smashing some cricket as we head into the summer whilst keeping an eye on things overseas. We normally go at about a fortnightly frequency, and we'll be covering these Ashes pretty intently. Thanks for those that have joined the first time. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if this is your first time on the channel. And these eps do drop on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. We'll catch you in 2 weeks for some Ashes cricket, and the wide world of sport continues to heat up as we head towards Christmas. We'll catch you then.
Bye.
Bye.